And welcome to the wrap party for Tales from the Undertaker. My name is Michael from Master Pathfinder, and with me, of course, is three quarters of my adventuring troop. Going from where? What is happening? Is it? Are we live? Are we not?
Yeah, we're live.
Are we good?
We're good.
Okay, we're live. All right, good.
Live.
Yeah, good. All right. So, of course, with me going from left to right is John, who plays Geralt, the brawler halfling. Stuck in the middle of the two companions is, of course, Justin, who plays Darby, the tiefling alchemist, and of course, last but certainly not least, leader of the Howland Agency, played by Zach, is of course none other than the infamous Khalil. G'day, guys.
Good day.
Hey.
Hello.
How are you guys doing?
Pretty good. Doing well. Doing well.
I'm doing very good well.
It's
Very well.
It's sad I'm not gonna be here to play on Tuesdays.
It's true.
Yes, no. So, so it's a little bit of a somber event today. Basically, for those of you who missed last week's series finale, we had the end of the Tales from the Undertaker. It was an epic, gripping battle filled with danger and monsters and secrets and betrayal. And if you haven't checked that out, definitely go and watch that episode, because that was so good. So today, basically, what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be going through and talking about some of our highlights, some of the things we loved about the show, some of the things we thought were a bit crap, and and of course, fielding any questions from you guys. We're also going to talk about a little bit about some of the story elements that maybe weren't explored. So if there's obviously stuff that you and the audience are interested in, or things you'd like to know about, let us know in the comments, and we'll as soon as I open up my own Twitch page, we'll get to those questions and find out what you guys wanted to know. All right. So first of all, one thing I want to talk about is the formation of the Howland Agency. So this show didn't actually come about in an easy way. I actually proposed this show a while ago to Dylan, who's the producer over at Color Circuit, and he wanted to kind of see how the show would go, and so we ended up in a one shot. And John was a member of that one shot so long ago, along with a couple of other people.
I've been around since the beginning.
Yes, since the beginning, the real OG, as it were. So yeah, I mean, John, tell us a little bit about the character you played during that initial session.
Oh, man. I'm trying to remember his name. I think his name was Dakash.
It was the same.
That sounds right.
The noir one,
right? Yeah. And so he was the Samsaran Inquisitor. He was this super jaded Samsaran who Samsarans they keep coming back to they're reincarnated and they remember pieces of their past lives.
Oh, okay.
And so
do you
basically
getting butchered by Dr. D.
Yeah. He's probably still alive even, and if he's not, he's probably like, oh my god, I need to stay away from that guy. But yeah, he's super jaded. I kind of I didn't really mention any of this backstory, but for a while, he's tens of thousands of years old. He's not tens of thousands of years old, but he's been reincarnated for that long, and so he went through a period where he just kept trying to kill himself every time he came back to life, and obviously none of it worked, and he just kind of remembered that he did this stuff. And so
how much does he remember? Does he literally remember his entire life?
No. He remembers the highlights essentially.
Okay,
that's what he remembers. And so that was a big thing with him, is that he was super jaded at this point. He just didn't care. He was he had seen people die that weren't Samsarans, and so it's he just didn't really care about them. And he was a Samsaran, so he knew he was going to come back to life no matter what. So he didn't really care about anything really, and that was kind of the whole premise behind that character, is that he was just super jaded because dying so many times. It's like being in Groundhog's Day, It's you just don't care after a while. You're like, oh, whatever. So.
Or maybe if you're dying over and over, more aptly, it's like Happy Death Day.
Yeah, like Happy Death Day. Yeah, I mean,
that's true.
Yeah, he was just super jaded though. He was just I don't care about anything.
Straight up chaotic neutral.
He wasn't. He was more evil than neutral because he, like, I kind of, I don't know, like, I kind of like developed this character a lot in my head, and he kind of like started developing this like kind of sadistic. It's almost like, you know, like if you're like a psychopath or whatever, like you don't really feel empathy for other people. So that was like kind of what he developed, is because, you know, he'd seen people die and he had kind of like developed that as a defense mechanism, and so he was just kind of evil, and he kind of got off on torturing people, and that's why he was an inquisitor.
Him and Khalil would not have gotten.
No. He would have hated him.
No, he was a lot of fun, and there were a whole bunch of very interesting characters in that particular group as well. I think Bond played like a monkey kin, like he played a ranger of sorts. I can't remember what John played, the other John.
Yeah, I can't really either.
And Kendra was in it as well, and she was playing.
She was like that fox-like creature.
Yeah, the kitsune, the like illusion, maybe an illusionist, I think, maybe.
That might be
But yeah, the quest at that time was actually, ironically, the start of the adventure, like the real full-on adventure, and it actually paved the way for Geralt's character, which was very interesting.
Yeah.
The group had basically gone in to this to this town and heard about this like evil witch that was plaguing the actual area, and these rabid animals started running rampant through the streets. So the group was basically told, you know, hey, go deal with this witch problem, and we'll we'll kind of let you, we'll pay you, and we'll compensate you and all that sort of stuff. And so the group, wanting to be detectives, decided to go out and explore. After a sort of very clumsy incursion into this witch's house, they climbed up and they kind of did battle with this like crazed witch. Do you remember much about the witch?
I remember she had a cauldron and she was like attached to it or something somehow. I can't.
Oh no, that was the scarecrow.
Yeah, there was the scarecrow. Yeah, she had like this giant evil scarecrow thing.
No, Jesus.
And that was like super freaky. But we took her. I remember we took her out, but I don't remember how or anything.
Yeah, I think if memory serves, what ended up happening, I feel like it was Geralt that ended up getting grabbed by the scarecrow and just dunked into this cauldron over and over and over again.
Geralt was there?
Wait, not Geralt.
No, not Geralt. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, Dakash. Yeah, I feel like it was. I feel like it was Dakash. Maybe it was.
That sounds right.
Yeah, and the group. I think a group ended up pushing the cauldron of hot, boiling gunk onto the witch.
Oh.
I feel like that's what happened.
Yeah,
I mean, if it didn't, then you can go.
Spilling, for sure.
Yeah. I do remember that.
You guys melted the witch.
Which is pretty cool. But at the end of the that particular adventure, was because it was a one shot and it had a different cast, we kind of picked it up from a different point of view after that event, in the form of Geralt, which is obviously John's new character, who had actually been a town guard during the events of like the rabid animals running around, and he was just basically drunk on duty and got reprimanded and fired from his job.
Hey, he was forced into retirement.
Yeah, he was. He was a veteran soldier, so they kind of gracefully allowed him to retire. And that's when Geralt came into contact with Raylan. And, of course, Darby and Khalil, who had met along the way, had basically been looking for people to do the same thing. And thus was born the Howland Agency. So what were your, like, individually, as characters, what were your impressions of your comrades the first time you met them? So let's start with Khalil. What was your first impression? I mean, obviously you met Darby first.
Yeah, so that I like, we didn't roleplay that or anything, but I'm guessing Khalil was very impressed with Darby's skills and abilities to do things that Khalil was not capable of. He saw someone that was kind of pushed out, and he as the good person he was, saw an opportunity to make a powerful ally. In some
And
way.
what about when he bumped into Geralta and Raylan?
Geralt, I automatically came off as like he was super strong and like forceful and something that Khalil was excited to have on his team. You know, someone who he could tell could beat up people. You know, Khalil needed a strong man, which he did not have. You know, me and Darby are not necessarily strong men. And then Raylan was a healer, which is something else that Khalil needed, and she seemed nice, I guess. Khalil was always
Seemed nice.
Raylan had always had like that kind of like caring for herself kind of vibe. Khalil could tell, but he needed a healer, and she cared about Geralt, so that was important, I guess. But he loves all the people. He loves everyone he runs into. Okay. Like for a second, and then not a second, and then a second again.
Huh. What did you think whenever you met Sorora?
Oh, and Sorora, she was.
Did you know it was your sister?
From the moment I saw her.
You did. There's no way you did. Right?
No,
Okay.
I didn't know that.
I was like, what? Seriously?
She was quiet and awkward at first, so Khalil kind of related.
Almost like you've been there yourself.
Almost like I've been there myself. She seemed like she didn't know what she was doing, but she seems like she was talented in some ways. She got very creepy to Khalil as the story progressed when she started laughing during chantings and didn't seem affected by murders at all.
Yeah, her mask kind of started slipping towards the end there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Especially in the very final episode.
Her mask
oh my
was
God.
never really firmly on.
Yeah, Khalil.
That's right.
Khalil kind of misjudged her a little bit, I think. But
Well, with her deception, with her like bluff check, I'm not surprised. I mean, I thought like from my perspective, like I thought Sorora was gonna hang on to like lying to everyone like a lot longer than she did. But she like because obviously bluff was one of her biggest skills, she sort of jumped straight into using it all the time, and then it was just sort of like okay, I mean. You know, if you lie all the time, then obviously people kind of suspect things and become suspicious. Whereas if you're just like very casually like you're lying, like you know, and you're just very good at it, you know, you don't kind of raise too much of a suspicion.
yeah,
But I think it was great. I think the dynamic was really good, and the big reveal during the finale was definitely awesome. And I loved the reaction from Khalil when that happened. But we'll get to that when we get to the finale bit. What about Darby? Justin, how did Darby take his?
I want to see a comic of just how annoyed Darby is being a companion with Khalil before they met the other two. Just Khalil bubbly, annoying Darby the entire time.
So, Darby had been homeless, looking for work for a little over a year before Khalil came and brought him into the group. So, at first, Darby was very happy that someone wanted to work for him, and then he was downtrodden to think that this was the person that the only person that wanted to work with him. But fairly quickly, what like
Super
started out
disenchanted.
for like a day, he was annoyed. Fairly quickly, Darby actually found Khalil's unyielding optimism to be endearing.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's interesting.
And he was always secretly very touched that he reached out to him at all. Which is why several times that you were like the only person that Darby would put himself in danger to help.
Oh,
Wow, I never realized that. That's really interesting.
Khalil.
Yeah. He thought Geralt was loud or obnoxious drunk.
That's very accurate. That's exactly who Geralt is. You nailed it.
And he realized that you were strong from like the get-go, so he was cool with you. Like, it basically, his thoughts towards your alcoholism and stuff was, as long as you got the job done, I didn't give a shit.
Yeah, I definitely got that from Darby. That he's like, here's some alcohol, get it, or
Yeah.
here's a potion of hangover cure.
And he eventually found you to be reliable.
Nice.
And he always hated Raylan.
Always, just from the start.
Mhm.
As soon as he laid eyes on her, her hair blowing in the wind, and you're like, I hate
He hated
you.
her immediately. He hated her whenever
The horse thing that
she immediately like started being really mean to everyone in her party.
Yeah, like yeah, like.
Oh, you mean like
everyone
the
out of
tent stuff?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
tent
Yeah.
thing. That's where it
Yeah.
all started,
And the
guys.
fact that she
It all
would,
started
like,
with
be
the tent.
very liberal with healing everyone besides us. Like, she would
Oh,
heal
yeah.
any her little person, like any NPC would come across, she'd be like, "Oh, heal," but she'd be like so stingy whenever it came to healing us.
She'd be like, "Oh, I only have 20 heals left today. Sorry." We're like, "What?"
Only have 20 heals left.
I don't think she was
Only.
that too much with you, because she knew you.
Well, she's trying to save you,
But she
but I
was,
don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, she's trying to more redeem his alcoholism than it was, like trying to keep him alive. That was like, that's a slightly different
Yeah.
kind of goal there.
Yeah, I think that Geralt and Raylan kind of had like a connection, like that they were kind of like, they had like that teammate vibe
Yeah.
going on. Except when she
It
was stingy
definitely
with her
looked
tent.
like she was trying to fix you.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
You were the bad boy in
But
her
then,
eyes.
that's
Wink.
right.
Yep. The pet project.
And then
No, go on.
Sorora, Darby knew something was up with her, but he didn't have any idea like what exactly was going on. And he always liked Sorora. He thought that she was fun.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think
Fair enough.
I think Geralt really liked Sorora too. He almost felt like he had to like look after her and stuff like that because she seemed kind of like almost more reckless than Geralt somehow. So he was like, "Oh my god, she's gonna die. I gotta like protect her."
But
Until the very end, and actually, it made that betrayal like so
Yeah.
much worse
Kim.
for Geralt. Like he was
Oh.
immediately ready to attack and kill her.
Yeah, you guys are ready to murder Raylan.
Yep. You're just like, no!
Sorora, Jesus.
Well, technically, I mean,
Oh.
who's
Yeah,
She
counting?
was trying to kill us. She brought us to a trap.
I know.
The various healers that the group goes through.
We have had the worst
Yeah,
luck with
our
healers.
And what the fuck? Raylan had one of those little thing charms to summon a lich too.
Oh yeah.
We still don't know what that's all about.
Well, she was undead, so that might have been part of it.
Why did she have
No, but
one?
she gave it to her after she was like cleansed or whatever. Which also, like, maybe doesn't even make any sense because Sorora was evil.
Maybe she didn't know that though. Or maybe it was like, oh, she was cleansed, but it's like,
Well, I'm actually happy to tell you exactly what happened in regards to that.
please do.
Oh.
All right, so the backstory behind Sorora's character, in lieu of her actually being here to tell you herself, was that she was indeed Khalil's lost sister. But after the attack by the vampires, Khalil was saved by Valentine, but Sorora was actually saved by her father, who at the time was not Dr. D, and I'm going to admit that straight up. It wasn't Dr. D originally. It was, however, a necromancer and member of the Whispering Way. In fact, it was also a member of the Whispering Way who had lured the vampires to Khalil's home.
Assholes.
So he was the one who had basically raised Sorora and wanted her to infiltrate your group after hearing about like your disruption of things like the Blood Moon Ball, the thing at Carrion Hill, of which the necromancers had taken a part in. And they wanted to make sure you weren't going to be a problem. So Sorora was basically sent there to assassinate you should you become a problem.
Oh, wow.
Now, along your journey, while they were tracking you, the point in which they decided to approach you was actually when Raylan died. So when Raylan died, the necromancers were tracking you, Sorora and her father. And they said, this is a perfect opportunity. You're going to go there and pretend to be, like their healer and, be able to help support them. They'll never question you. They'll never ask anything about you. But if you need any help, you can break this greater summoning stone and you can summon the assistance of a greater undead. Now, it's only a temporary thing. Like, summoning a lich was more of a, yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, more than this has the specific ability of lich summoning. And when obviously Sorora went with you, her father stayed behind and fashioned the body into a Dullahan, giving it, of course, the same medallion as well. And that's where the evil Raylan came into being. And again, there was sort of the same thing. They were waiting for the right time and the right opportunity for them to sick that on you and have you attacked. It was also for Raylan to signal that that her father is ready to have you guys assassinated. So that was that whole story with the Dullahan and Raylan and what have you. Cool. So there you go. First spoiler of the day. All right. So, John, tell us how Geralt's impression of the groups were.
Well,
Please do.
he really liked. Yeah, so.
Tell us what you really think.
Original group for Raylan, it was definitely that he felt like this, like she was kind of gonna help him get himself back on his feet, and so he really liked Raylan a lot. And then Khalil at first he didn't really have a lot of respect for just because he felt like, he was really strong and he was like jumping in and taking stuff out, and just seeing Khalil run in and then like miss with his sword and just be like, Jesus Christ. He'd be like, oh my God. But then after a while he started like actually gaining a lot of respect for Khalil, and then by the end he actually like respected him quite a bit.
Is it because I could finally hit things?
Yeah. That's exactly why. Geralt is very results oriented. Yeah, and so because of that, he always loved Darby. He always thought Darby was like really great.
Darby hit
Darby would like hit everything.
Yeah.
He was like,
Darby was like a damage dealer. That's what he did.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Darby
was,
definitely stood out.
Yeah, so Geralt was very big on that, and also I think that obviously Darby's personality was a little off-putting to Geralt, but
Not to mention, like, I mean, it didn't really come up very often because like we are like in this world of horrors, but like my character is in particular very ugly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
That
like
never
not
really
like very unkempt.
Yeah.
Like, probably smelled terrible like all the time. Though I don't imagine anybody in our group probably smelled all that great.
Probably not. I know Geralt smelled like alcohol all the time. So like literally all the time.
Throw up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always imagine Khalil to be very tidy, like to be the kind of person like always like
I don't think Khalil
always
smells
like
too bad,
clean. Yeah, always like clean his drawers and like press his pants.
I literally had an alabaster trapping. It always had presentation cast on it, so I was always clean.
Yeah, you were always clean.
See, there you go.
I was like, I just like never cared to clean myself. Like I didn't go out of my way to get dirty, but I was like cleaning's a waste.
Didn't go out of your way to get clean either.
Yeah, I think Geralt was kind of the same way, that he was either drunk or hungover all the time, so he just never thought of it.
It's like, don't worry. The chili stains will hide the vomit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just intentionally pouring stains
was
onto
just
his
like,
shirt. Just be like, there we go. That'll
whereas
cover
Darby
it up.
was just like, oh, this sulfur smell just adds to my aesthetic.
My aesthetic.
Yeah. Geralt's version of deodorant is a whole fried chicken. Like just
That's right.
Is that-
That is literally accurate.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So what about
Sorora?
Raylan?
Raylan, that's right, yeah.
Or you mean Sorora?
Sorora.
He already said Raylan.
Oh, and Raylan. Oh, did you? Oh, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he went
Well,
over it.
Sorora.
That
Yeah,
was the
just
first
Yeah, well, with Raylan, it was just that he felt like, she was taking care of him, and so he really liked her because of that. Like, she kind of, like, believed in him and would spur him on. And then Sorora, he kind of felt like he had to take care of her, that she seemed kind of innocent, but then towards the end, he realized that she was not at all when she summoned the Lich, and then he was immediately, like, he just felt like this absolute betrayal.
It's funny that you say that you felt like you needed to take care of her, because I felt like Darby felt like she was like the person I had to worry about the least of getting hurt.
Really?
Well, because she would always be in the back. She was very.
You two were always very brash and like.
Yeah,
just
that's true.
Charging in at things.
Well, at least
she would lie.
Yeah.
That's true. She was very good at lying.
I mean, yeah. So, like, basically, the thing is like, I as a person kind of was like, obviously, like,
yeah,
super, super suspicious. I knew some of it.
Yes.
I knew some of what was going on because me
as
and
a
Michael
player,
heard.
I had no idea that she was like. I figured she was evil, but I didn't make that connection between you two.
Yeah, and I kind of as a character,
but as a
never guessed that, because I figured with her bluff being so high, like, you would never in a million years be able to like figure out if she was lying.
Yeah,
or
Darby
not.
knew that she was a liar, but just thought that she was just a liar. Like,
Yeah.
she just got off on lying, and
Yeah.
that was it. So like he was like, whatever.
Because there were a couple of times where she just lied for no reason.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, what
would
was
you
that?
like? Would you? I don't know. I can't remember what it was, but it was something like, "Would you like a sweet roll? I'm on my way to the market."
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Would
to
you like
bother
a sweet roll? Just right, like she was. It was something like so out of the blue. Like she just decided, I'm going to lie about this.
It is pretty great that she kept on hissing at people. Now that I know
Oh,
that
yeah,
she's a
that's right.
vampire.
Yeah. Yeah, so she was. Yeah. That was pretty awesome.
What a charmer.
No, I know she's great. No, I think it was great. I think both Kendra and Madison did amazing jobs in that role, and each brought their own element of both like teamwork and at the same time like a little bit of drama into everything. And of course, before Madison joined up with the table, there was a very large adventure that the four of you originally took, which was your first big escapade, which was, of course, the zombie apocalypse of Carrion Hill.
Oh, yeah.
That whole thing was crazy.
We met such characters as Benny the Rat.
Benny Rat was
Benny
there.
the
Well,
Rat.
Benny the
No,
Rat was
Benny, you
later.
didn't meet Benny there. You met Benny at the Blood Moon Ball.
Yeah.
But Benny the Rat wasn't at the Blood Moon Ball, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the outside
Yeah.
of the mall, but
Yeah, he was outside
Yeah.
of the tent. We like heard something, and there was something with the doll. I can't remember.
Okay.
It was
He
like
rushed
his
in there,
sister
yeah.
or
He
something.
saved us.
That was
Yeah, the doll was the sister, and he was trying to get you guys tickets to get in. You know, he was the scalper.
right.
Yeah.
That was when we met Pogo.
Yeah, we did meet
Yeah, it
Pogo
was
there
when you
for
met
sure.
Pogo. met Pogo?
And
So,
what was the other alchemist's name?
Devin.
Neville.
Neville, yeah.
Neville. All right, so basically the quest for this particular section was that the mayor of the town that they were in hadn't heard from his nephew, who was an alchemist named Neville, sorry, and they had to go to Carrion Hill and find out what was up. Upon arriving in Carrion Hill, they found that the whole place was overrun by zombies and skeletons and other kind of undead that had risen up from the graveyard, and they decided to start exploring to try and not only find Neville, but also any kind of survivors as well. What were your impressions, like, as you kind of, like, at that moment where you're on the top of the hill looking in and you kind of saw, like, what was in store for you guys, like the zombies and the broken gates and the just groaning and the swarm of, undead?
Khalil, of course, it was obviously horrible, but it's a chance for him to be something more than what everyone thought he was for a second, It's for his first big quest. He was hoping everyone was okay that could be okay, but still, it was a chance for him to prove himself a little bit.
Now, what about with Darby?
Darby's immediate thought was that they were all going to die.
Of course it was.
Yeah. And it only worsened.
Only worse.
And he was right.
Up
It
until
only got.
up until the point where we met like Pogo. Then he was like, okay, well, maybe we can actually make a difference here.
Things will be okay as long as we have Pogo.
Yeah. Well, that was also when we met the Helsing guy, right?
Yeah, Rosenfeld.
Rosen.
He was.
So like as soon like we found Rosenfeld, we found Pogo. I think that was the first time we found like a significant portion of survivors.
Mhm.
So like
Yeah.
Darby was like, all right, there's like something concrete in front of me to work towards, instead of just like, oh, you're in a city full of undead zombies.
And you have to just wander around and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you check that cupboard? Oh, well, there was a child in there.
Well, half a child, anyways.
What about Geralt? What was his thoughts?
Geralt was. I think he was a little bit like cautious about the whole situation. Like he's normally very reckless, but you know he was kind of like a one-on-one kind of brawler type. You know, maybe fight like 5 or 6 guys at once. No big deal.
You kind of
But just the idea.
into being a tank when you were not a tank.
Yeah.
None of us were. Our 2 close line people had lower HP, I think.
No,
I think
I
I
had
had-
really high HP.
Oh, did
at
you have
this
a good
time.
I
time?
think I
Even
had
still,
the
yeah.
highest AC in the party.
I think you guys were.
Yeah, I think
you guys
so.
were level 2 at this point, right? Or 2 or 3?
2,
I think we were 2.
2
Yeah.
or 3.
And we went to
Yeah,
3 like
yeah.
halfway through or something.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, yeah. So this was not really like, even if you had a tank, it's like
Yeah.
it's a zombie
You're right.
apocalypse. You know, I mean, I don't think it would have made a drastic amount of
I
difference.
was very happy that I dealt fire damage. A lot of fire damage.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of damage there. All right, so you met a lot of colorful characters. Yeah, you already mentioned Pogo and Neville and Rosenvale and all of that. Pogo, for those who haven't watched the episode, was a Otyug, which is like this giant kind of bulbous creature with tendrils, and it eats garbage, basically. The town had tamed a Otyug to basically eat the town's refuse, and it was happily doing that in the sewers, and the group had bumped into it while exploring underneath the sewers themselves. And what were your thoughts when you first came to Pogo? Because at the time you didn't know Pogo was tame. You thought,
Oh yeah, we thought he was.
yeah.
We thought it was a monster that we were gonna have to kill. But, I mean, I thought it was just a boss battle.
Yep.
but you guys chose not to attack him when he charged at you.
Because it didn't attack us.
It happens that one of us said sit, right? I don't know
It was
who.
Raylan.
It was Raylan. She just did it. I don't know if there's a connection or reason that we did that. But
I think she just thought of it. She thought she was like, it was because she'd seen the collar on his
Yeah,
neck.
we all made
Oh.
perception checks, and she was the only one that saw a collar on its neck.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then she
Mm.
she decided to do that, to say sit, and then he sat.
And from there on, you earned yourself a beloved companion in Pogo.
He
who,
was
again,
so helpful.
eating corpses, eating garbage, eating dead, rotting flesh was just like a picnic for Pogo as he rampaged through the streets, cutting you holes from one location to the other. But Pogo's journey was not without peril. There were several undead that were very notable in nature. In particular, one that managed to get his hands on a pair of very powerful firearms. Who had you guys pinned down in a shop across from the church.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the
Uh,
crows.
Yeah.
One of the crows. Why don't you guys tell us about that encounter and what happened?
So the skeleton dude had Roosevelt's guns and basically started blasting at us, and we all had to take cover.
Yeah.
I remember the episode ended with him shooting one bullet into the air, and we didn't know who was going to be hit.
And it was Pogo.
And yeah, at the start
Yeah,
of the
it was
episode,
Pogo.
Pogo jumped in front of the bullets and took them for us.
Oh yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah.
I was like,
then we
like
killed-
as a
but then we
person, I
killed
was
that
like
guy.
genuinely distraught about that. I felt so horrible.
But then we
about
killed
that.
that guy, and Pogo was fine.
Did
Yeah,
we-
that's true. Pogo was okay.
Yeah,
so that was
Pogo
okay.
lived, but
But there was definitely a moment there.
I want to know how
and-
that guy got Rosenville's guns, because Rosenville is
Rosenville
horrifyingly
lost his
powerful.
arms.
But how? To the night guy, or who did he lose his arms to?
Well, let's actually examine this this bit of the story from Rosenville's perspective.
Oh.
So Rosenville had arrived because he had heard rumors of a necromancer being in the area and had gone to investigate the graveyards and things like that. When there was nothing found, really, he was actually preparing to go back to go to Corvishaw for the whole Blood Moon Ball thing.
Yeah.
But that's when the
Neville's
first-
tar bombs raised all those undead.
Well, yeah, Neville Star Bombs that raised the undead, apparently. And as soon as that happened, he knew what was going to happen. Like, Rosenvale had seen how quick an undead outbreak would go. He thought there were cow zombies initially, but then noticed that there were some plague ones mixed in and realized that, okay, this is going to get out of hand super quick and I need to call for help. He sent a messenger away first and foremost, which is the one you actually came upon being eaten by a troll.
Yeah.
and then rallied people into the town hall. He got as many people as he could in there, but the town hall wasn't strong enough to hold up against the horde. So he held off the horde while the group made their way into the tunnels below the courtroom. That was where you guys walked in. You saw all the dead zombies with bullet holes in them.
Oh yeah.
Now, as he was leaving, the zombies were still kind of pouring in. So he used the last of his gunpowder to set off an explosion that would collapse the tunnel in behind them. The problem is though, he obviously didn't have enough time to set it properly, and he is far from a demolitions expert. And in the process, literally blew his arms off.
Oh my gosh, Jesus.
The zombies, however, after feasting on what remained of his arms, the crows found the guns and used them. Oh, the crow, the one dude
Yeah.
who was leading that
There were
particular
multiple
group
crows,
found.
though, right?
Yeah. There were like three. I
There were
think.
like three.
There were three of them. Yeah, there were three of them, but that one in particular found the guns, and the guns were the guns actually have a curse on them, but it had no effect on the undead. So it was kind of like a catch-22. So he managed to use them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That was
then
the
you
chain one that possessed you.
Oh yeah. We'll get to that. That was awesome.
Yep. And what was the third one? Third one was the the one on the gate, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was one
It's like
like
the-
crawling around on the wall. It was like,
Yeah, like the Spider-Man one.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of Rosenville, let's get to Rosenville. So you guys had gone and investigated the town hall, and you'd found underneath the streets after you'd met Pogo a small alcove that was filled with survivors and a armless gentleman. Tell us about what this person, who this person was.
One of my favorite characters ever, Rosenville. Even though he'd lost his arms, he was still very charming and optimistic almost. And
Yep,
he's fun. He's a fun guy.
it's good.
Khalil very much so likes that guy. He saved our lives multiple times, I feel like, at this point.
He literally like killed you and brought you back from the dead once.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's what.
Oh my god,
times
that
I
was so
mean, yeah.
amazing. That fixed.
It was
me
you
up
and me were sick. Or we
Yeah.
had zombie rot from this mission.
We had we had zombie rot, and we
Mummy
both
rot,
taken
mummy
rot.
yeah mummy rot, yeah, and we'd both taken like constitution damage
We were
and stuff, and it was
dying.
really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened?
He shot you each in the head and true resurrected you or something.
Yeah, that happens later on when we were at Castle Covershore.
Yeah, that was
right?
after Raylan died.
That was.
It was when we were going in for just when we were going to the gates to see what was up. We haven't even thought about breaking in yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
alright.
he's really cool. His guns were cool.
He's got a cool accent.
He was like probably still able to kick all of our asses
With no
even
hands?
no
Oh
arms.
yeah, I'm sure.
With no arms. Well, as was mentioned a little bit before the show, because the group asked like what level the Helsings were and stuff. Rosenville was actually the weakest of the Helsings, being level 15 himself. So still very powerful in comparison to the group at the time, but he was still also the weakest of the Helsings. His story was very interesting because the artwork for the most part was some actually, you know what, seeing as I've got like some control over the edit, give me 2 seconds while I pull this up. The artwork alluded to a lot of detail that I wanted to have for the character. It is my intention at some point or another to publish this adventure in some way, shape, or form. So I actually paid for an artist, a very talented artist called Forsteer X, to commission these incredible pieces for me. And Rosenvale's one, which I have character portraits. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. Oh, hello.
Hey.
Handsome devil. All right, I'm gonna back off. All right. There I go. All right, so Rosenvale. Right?
Oh my god, that's actually incredible.
Okay, so Rosenvale was a very, very charming character. You can kind of see straight off the bat. He's got some scarring over his face. He's got kind of a rough exterior, rough appearance. That's only part of it. Like obviously you can kind of tell he was not like, you know, prim and proper or knightly or anything like that.
Yeah.
So the first thing to note is on his sort of necklace is actually a shark tooth. This is actually because his family are actually pirates, sailors, and that's the particular flavor of pirate he was. And he was actually one of many brothers who was designed to basically take over the fleet of pirate ships after their father's passing. But he did not want to do that. He refused. He actually didn't like going out to the ocean, didn't like doing that, and was actually tortured by his brothers and sisters.
Oh, Jesus.
He ended up being saved by Arthur, nonetheless, as Arthur was chasing up a creature called a duppy and needed the help of a very down and underprivileged sailor in order to help him accomplish this task. And Rosenvale was there, and that's how the two of them met. And as you kind of go down, you can kind of see the intricacies of the guns. And how, like, I mean, obviously, if you're a pirate, you do not have like French swirls on and silver inlay on your guns. The reason for that is this was actually given to him by his mother, who wasn't a pirate. His mother was actually a victim of piracy, and she, however, had a fighting spirit and gave her gun to Rosenvale. Should his father or brothers and sisters get out of hand, it was supposed to have like one bullet in it that was specifically for them to kill them.
Shit, jeez.
But since he never needed it, he'd always kept it by his side, and it actually became his choice piece and firearm for everything. Despite people calling it girly or what have you, it is his favorite weapon. You can also see, as mentioned, his arms got blown off, so he's got like the clockwork mechanical arms.
Yeah.
And on his belt, the wyvern battling the bat is the symbol of the Helsing organization. I think that was all the specky stuff. Yeah, that was all the specky stuff for him. But yeah, I love the artist that did this because they like she was just so spot on with stuff, and I just really get out of my way. There we go. And I really kind of just loved how she took the concept and ran with it so damn well. So yeah. Rosenvale is definitely a fan favorite character, and I hope I did him enough justice. You know, it's one of those things where if you tell yourself as a GM, oh, I want to make this character really likable and lovable, and then it's like, well, he's actually hot garbage, then you're like, damn it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. So after you met Rosenvale, and you'd managed to kind of sort of discover more survivors and things like that, you then began your quest to find Neville. Where did you find Neville, and sort of what happened with that part of the story for you guys?
So we decided that it was a good idea to go to the temple or the church.
Yeah.
I don't know what you would call it.
Church.
We broke in there some. I think we
specifically got sent there.
Yeah, was it because of
The
Rosen?
priest.
No. When you met Rosenvale, you also met jeez, I can't even remember her name.
Oh,
I wanna
yeah,
say
Claire?
Claire. Yes, you met Claire, who was
Claire.
Neville's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And she told us about the priest or something.
She told us that there's a like he locked people out or
people may be gathering in there.
okay, yeah.
So that's why we went there.
Yeah.
And there you found the alchemist Neville, who was basically blaming himself for the zombie apocalypse, and I think you guys found out that he wasn't actually responsible
No, he
for
was
it.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, we found out pretty
It
quickly.
was pretty insane that he thought that he was.
Well, I mean, he had like no sleep in the past few days and all that. Sort of stuff. I mean, to be
No,
fair,
I get it.
but yeah, no. But I think, but you guys wrapped that up pretty well. And I mean, there was nothing really outstanding happened at that point. Oh no! This is where you guys ran from the cathedral, and on the way you started getting chased by the zombie horde, and you ended up backing yourselves into an alleyway.
Yeah.
And in order to try and escape one of the crows that was there, I feel like what happened with Khalil? It was like
He got separated. We
No,
thought he
he
died.
yeah. The
But
the crow wanted to
the-
separate.
That'll happen way
The
later.
crow wanted to separate Khalil, so he used the sort of grappling hook rope thing to grab onto Khalil, lift him into a second-story window, and smash him through the glass.
Yeah, and it was
Onto
like
another
right
floor.
as we were leaving with Pogo, so Pogo charged like full charge with like a bunch of people to get them to safety.
Yeah.
But
No,
that thing
it
happened
wasn't
at the
Pogo.
end of the fight.
It was. Yeah, it was.
All that cart thing where I got left behind. What happens when we were fighting Leonard?
Yeah, no, not that bit, not that
Yeah,
bit.
that was
The-
later.
The bit that I'm thinking of is I remember Khalil was on the second story of this building.
That wasn't.
And-
No, he tried to do that on purpose.
No,
he
I
was
think he
like,
did.
I'm gonna swing down and try to hit this thing. He
No,
rolled
I know
terrible
exactly what happened. We
and
were
went
fighting
right
a
through the window.
we were fighting a bloody skeleton, a long arm is a bloody skeleton, and he had like a zip line, and he swung across and grabbed me, and threw me into a window.
I don't think.
And
I
then
think,
Raylan, you went up there after me, and I ended up.
I think Justin's
blowing him up.
right. I feel like you like rolled really poorly, and you.
It was
No,
definitely
no,
you.
he
trying to
did.
do
He did.
something
No,
daring.
he
Probably
did. He
did
did.
roll
He
poorly.
he rolled poorly. But what he rolled poorly for was when they smashed through the window, he rolled his perception check and didn't notice that he was in a room with a horde of zombies.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sounds
Yeah,
right.
and
And
then
so
Darby,
I do remember that. I remember
Darby
that.
got hit like 4 times to rush up to him to give him a potion, and then Khalil didn't even use it.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
I remember
Yeah,
burning
I-
all the zombies in front of
Yeah, I
me.
was gonna say,
Eventually.
and I remember like, yeah, the building caught on fire because you burned all the zombies.
Yeah. Once he realized they were there, of course. So yeah.
During that church battle, I don't know if anyone remembers. Raylan got kidnapped and teleported away from us.
Yeah, by the
Did
priest.
by
she?
the priest. Yeah, because we trusted the priest when we shouldn't have.
I remembered that the priest turned out to be one of the crow
He
guys.
kidnapped her.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
that
he
for some
grabbed her
reason.
arm and
You actually went with them.
zapped her. Oh yeah, you went with her. Hey, you tried to grab on to save her, and you went
Because
too.
there was a time where both you and her were gone.
Yeah, you both missed that episode, and you guys were both in a trance.
Oh,
And
that's
whenever
right.
we
I
had-
remember.
That's whenever we had Reiki come in.
Rilke, and
Okay,
we also
and
ran
then
into
Neville.
our knightly friend too.
Yes.
Yes.
Our paladin.
Our paladin.
I remember him.
That's, and yeah, no, you ended up having to save them from like this kind of almost like a execution style firing
Yeah.
line as the undead, which by the way is called a hakuva. had actually disguised himself as the local priest, and yeah, you guys did well actually. You guys trounced that particular fight.
Yeah, there were a lot of assholes in the city
Mhm.
that tried to kill us.
Yeah, tons of
There
people
were,
in that
there
city.
were.
I mean, it was basically just an undead city, so I guess that's not too surprising.
Yeah.
It was
No,
under
that's kinda
siege
true.
by an undead army.
Now, the last thing I think you guys did was you ended up getting all the survivors over to the lighthouse where you found the groups, where you found the mayor, and they told you basically had to try and figure out how to get all the people out. And you guys had opted to go for the armored carriage that was in the blacksmith's place, and that's where you met the forge dwarf.
Oh, and
Oh,
also
that's right.
the stupid freaking goblin that I hate goblins. And there was a goblin there.
And he
Oh,
had
the
to-
goblin
he had
was
to-
fine.
He had to etch on the
Yeah,
the
he had
runes,
to etch on the runes.
and then he got scared shitless and he ran off.
Uh,
And he was like
But what did
halfway
you-
done, and we were like, "What the hell?" And we were like, I was like, I remember specifically because I was like, I'm gonna go check on him to make sure that everything's okay. And I go to check on him,
He's
and I
just
look out the
booking-
window,
he
and
booked
he's
it.
booking it down the street. I'm like,
God
damn it!
he got what's coming to him. Pogo got him, so
Did he?
he swallowed him and spit him up later, or something like that,
Oh,
And then his head.
or crunched him. There was one of the two.
oh Jesus. That's fair.
Yeah, so the poor goblin. But yeah, you guys managed to get the armored vehicle and managed to evacuate a ton of people from the lighthouse, and that is when things got really hairy. As you were loading up the cart, that is when you were faced with probably your most dangerous foe at the time, the Death Knight, Leopold.
Yeah, we ran
Carpenter.
into Leopold's.
Oh yeah.
That was your first boss battle, I think.
The guy that was with us.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
he
we,
was his great grandpa.
Yeah, Leopold was a monster.
Yeah, he was like, there was like no way we would even get close to beating him. I remember.
So how'd you guys get out of the situation?
So Leopold had some still connection to like his who he was, like an honorable person and stuff like that. So the only way we could stop him was to basically bring up like how like stupid he was for fighting the thing, like being the thing that he hated. Because
Yeah.
he hated undead and those monsters and stuff.
Yeah, because he was a paladin.
But he became one, and
Yeah.
so the only way to kind of stop him was to say that, and he would turn from like one kind of like color to another color, which we knew was a calmer color. Otherwise, he would one hit us.
Yeah, it took us a couple of turns to realize that. Like, we were kind of figuring it out, but we hadn't figured it out yet. So he still hit us a couple of times.
You specifically,
Yeah,
hit
me
you a couple
specifically.
times.
And I kept getting hit, and then I think Raylan would heal me, and then I would get hit, and then Raylan would heal
You
me.
getting knocked out and then brought back to life and then immediately knocked out and then brought back to life was like a common theme throughout the whole game.
Yeah, that's true. That happened a lot.
You're a tank.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yep. I mean, I was actually very surprised that you kept coming as well. Like he would ignore you for a round, and then you'd get up and you'd be like, whack! And then he'd be like, Butsk! But no, it was great. And obviously, that particular encounter was, I think by the end of it was like CR 7, and you guys were level 3.
Yeah.
So it was almost a certain death. But you guys were only supposed to delay them, and which you did very successfully. Because once you had delayed them, the carriage had come back
Yeah.
for you.
That's when that happened.
Well,
also,
most of you.
during this fight, why I got left behind. Shout out to Darby, who ran away from the fights, launched a firework, and attracted the horde.
oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. He attracted the whole city of zombies
That was
with like fireworks and lights and sounds, and all the zombies just started like rushing towards the docks where they were.
Oh, man.
And
And then what did
I
and then
rushed
feel
in
like
there
Khalil,
to
like-
save someone. I don't know if it was Darby or someone
I
else.
think it was Ray Lynn.
Someone was dying.
I think it was
or maybe-
Raylan. I think it was Raylan.
I think it was
Okay,
Ray
yeah.
Lynn. I think she
And-
was unconscious or
Yeah, I
something.
used Expedious Retreat and got her out of there, but I got grabbed and couldn't break out of the.
Just barely, I
Yeah.
remember. You just barely rolled too low.
Mhm. And the horde grabbed
But
on
that-
me.
Yep, and then obviously you guys managed to basically book it on your armored cart, leaving, of course, Khalil behind to whatever fate he fell. And that was obviously the Carrion Hill, which was the first big chapter. What was like a highlight point for your character as an individual during this particular time?
As like is my character or me personally?
Go with both. What was your personal favorite
Me,
moment?
I loved when I almost got to murder my entire team as the Chain Demon. I was secretly hoping that I would just roll super high and kill our entire party.
So tell us about the Chain Demon encounter.
So we were when Pogo jumped out of his little area, he created a giant hole that led down to his garbage space, and we were trying to climb down there to get faster to where Rosenville and them were. And so I thought, for some reason, it was a smart idea to use the spiked chain as a rope down into the hole, and it was cursed.
But that spike chain was very special, wasn't it? You grabbed it off the evil chain demon thing that the dwarf was when you guys were fighting the blacksmith, and I feel like you even identified it as having cursed powers and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yep, didn't care.
Did someone walk in with a gun? I mean, like, you guys look like.
Yeah, Dylan walked in with a gun.
Dylan walked in.
Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Dylan.
Michael says hi.
Way to disrupt our moment.
Sorry.
I know, right?
Very emotional moment here.
I know, Dylan.
Okay.
The evil demon blacksmith's chains were super cursed, and I feel like you guys knew that at that point.
I didn't even know they were spiked. I just didn't perceive. I wasn't paying attention well enough. I assumed they might be cursed, but I kind of wanted to use them.
I think they're the only.
Yeah, and as soon as he did, the ghost of the blacksmith went into him and possessed Khalil, and he turned on the group. It was pretty awesome.
It's like if you ever played Left 4 Dead and you got to be the what's it called, the super monster in Left 4 Dead. I can't remember what it's called for some reason. Oh my gosh,
tyrants or something like that.
Yeah, whatever the Titan is in there. I got to do that for a second and just be like this.
Oh, the smoker.
Mini raid boss.
Yeah,
maybe
kind of like the smoker too.
I was kind of like the smoker too because I spit out fire. Oh my god, that was so fun! Oh yeah, he just
uses his tongue
and he spits
like,
out his tongue. Yeah, you're right. But it was a lot of fun. That was probably my favorite thing as a person, was being a bad guy for a second. I don't know. Cleo living was pretty cool. All of us getting out of there alive was a good thing. We saved the city, kind of. I don't know. That's probably the highlight, and we got mentioned, I think, later on because of that.
Yep.
Which is a good thing.
That was like our claim to fame for the rest of the.
It's true. Carrion Hill was our.
Oh wait, do you mean just for Carrion Hill, or do you mean just in general?
Carrion Hill.
Just for Carrion Hill.
Oh, just for Carrion Hill. Oh.
Just chapter 1.
Yeah.
I do?
Yeah, whoever wants.
Yeah, whoever wants to.
I feel like I can't remember if it was that demon, the like chain demon that we fought, but I'm pretty sure that was the moment that I grabbed the potions and I shoved it down his throat.
I think so.
I think it was that.
I think you did it a couple times.
I did it twice. Yeah.
You used all of our greater healing potions. Which
I used the 2 that I had.
They were like 750 gold apiece.
Yeah. And I did so much damage.
It does a lot of damage.
At level 2, I was doing like 28 damage or something like that.
That was pretty awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
That was
both his and Darby's.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's both and mine.
As a player, my favorite moments were meeting like Pogo and
Pogo's awesome.
Pogo was great.
I believe that Rosendale was like a really good intro to the Helsings. And he was just a fun character in general. I also really liked the guests we had. I thought they were really cool.
They were good.
As Darby, he was proud of himself for going to try to rescue Khalil, even though it didn't work out.
He prided himself on that moment.
He felt good that, like, even though it didn't turn out the way he wanted, that he put himself in danger for someone else.
It wasn't the moment where he tried to use sneezing powder on
No, that was his
fire
least
demon.
Oh my god, that was so
his
hilarious.
least favorite moment, was trying to use the sneezing powder and the smoke demon.
And it's literally like, yeah, it does literally nothing.
I was so
Oh my
confident
God.
too. I'm like, I want to slap him in the face with the sneezing powder. And we'll be able to get away.
It was
And then it was just like, nope.
I felt really bad about that. I was like, oh god, no.
I knew that it wasn't going to work, but Darby was
Okay.
very unexperienced with the undead.
nice. Cheating
And it
your
was just like
character.
this big, huge thing showed up that we needed to get away from. So he was like, I got the perfect thing to buy us time. Shit.
All right. So after Carrion Hill, you met a new NPC at this point, one who had managed to wrest Khalil from the jaws of death.
Oh, that's right.
The Undertaker. The first time you actually met the Undertaker from the whole thing. He is also the recapper, the narrator, the storyteller. What were your impressions of the? Actually, you know what? Sorry, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna get a drink of water. I feel like I'm parched. I will be right back.
Yeah.
But while I'm gone, give us your impressions of the Undertaker. Like when you met him, what were your thoughts when you first came upon the being known as the Undertaker?
Go ahead, I'm gonna kind of do the same. I'm gonna see if there's any coke.
Okay. The Undertaker is a
Tell me what's in there.
jokey guy, you know? He's a fun dude.
Oh, water.
Coke and water.
I'll take a water. Yeah, I mean, I love the Undertaker.
He was fun. I'm good.
I got to tell funny jokes.
I gotta tell funny jokes. Gerald stole his shovel and tried to use it as a weapon for
You did.
an
I couldn't
episode.
steal it.
Oh,
You did. You
remember?
got to use it for like a whole encounter, and then you
No, I
took it
didn't.
back.
No.
No, I didn't get to use it at all because I rolled a natural 20 and it still wasn't high enough for me to pick it up. I had to roll like one higher. So actually, if I had a hero point, I could have used a hero point and then actually picked up the shovel, and then I would have had like this super epic shovel weapon.
was it strong or was it just a normal shovel that happened to
Well,
have
if he
like,
couldn't pick it up, I imagine it
couldn't
was like
pick it up.
Thor's hammer.
No.
I couldn't pick it up and I rolled a natural 20 on it.
Did you? Oh my god.
No, I thought you rolled a natural 20 to find it.
No, I rolled a natural 20. He like put it down, and remember I said, "Oh, I know what you guys are thinking about. I had a shovel before that I was using
That
as
just
a
wasn't
weapon."
the same shovel.
No,
It
that
wasn't
was
the same
that was the same shovel.
Yeah, you used his shovel for a little bit. and
Oh,
then
I
he
used
was
his
like,
shovel?
You shouldn't use my
Yeah.
shovel to fight with. And
But
he
then
took
I-
it from you.
But so what was so special about it the second time when I like tried to
Oh.
pick it up and I couldn't?
All right. Well, once again, the Undertaker falls into the category of that same kind of artist that did an amazing job to kind of unveil more and more of him. So here's a big spoiler on like lots about who or what the Undertaker is. Obviously, you can see the striking resemblance to a very handsome model. But some things that you might not have noticed. So first and foremost is his teeth. The Undertaker's teeth are serrated.
Actually, I did notice that.
Mhm.
Well, like, does it mean just sharp? I'm too blind
Yeah.
to see from here. Okay.
Yeah, like they're all.
Yeah, they're sharp, they're pointed, they're jagged. This is because he is not human.
Oh.
Yeah, I never would.
Oh,
Never thought he was.
I thought maybe he was almost like an immortal being of some kind.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a
you
creepy
know-
dude.
Not far off. You can see on his neck he has a tattoo. That tattoo is of a skull with a jester's hat on it. That kind of leans towards what style of person he is. As we sort of scroll down, you sort of see the more macabre attire, fresh blood on his coat, skull cufflinks. And if you look super carefully at the shovel, there's actually runes and magical markings all along it, including on the shovel handle. You can kind of see them up on the top there, top the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what the Undertaker is, now he represents a few different things. He represents kind of the fear in Ustalav, and his goal in the entire story is to be exactly that, the storyteller, to be someone who sort of informs the group about rumors and things. What he is, what were the guesses? We had an immortal.
Mm-hmm.
Davi, did you want to guess what you think he might be?
I'm gonna guess an alien.
An alien. That's no wrong answers.
Yeah, I guess that's
Khalil?
fair.
If I'm taking a guess right now, I'm gonna say he's a Reaper.
A Grim Reaper. Not a bad one. Originally, when I first created the Undertaker as a character, he was supposed to be the spirit of Ustalav. So he's like the spirit of the land, embodied as part of the land, and he was just taking care of it, and that's what he did. As the story evolved and as the narrative changed, I turned him into something a bit more tangible. The Undertaker is a boogeyman.
Oh, is there a creature called the Boogeyman? And
There is indeed a creature called the boogeyman. They are fear-eating fairies who basically subsist off the fear and terror of others. They gain strength from the fear, and basically, you know, if you hear things like Jack the Ripper, that is usually a boogeyman having convinced someone to start spreading rumors, and he then feeds off the city's fear. This boogeyman, known as the Undertaker, feeds off the entire fear of the country.
jeez,
That's
must
how
be
he is.
horrifyingly powerful.
Well, that's why he is everywhere at the same time. You know, that's why he's also.
He doesn't seem very evil.
Well, he's
The
not. He
description
simply.
sounds kind of evil.
Well, eating fear is more like if you're afraid near him, he feeds off that energy. He does not, because of the nature of Ustalav, he doesn't need to scare people. He doesn't need to torture or make
He
people
did the opposite.
terrified.
He told jokes.
The reason being is because if everyone always feels fear, if everyone is always afraid of things, right, eventually they become jaded to it. And then they don't feel fear anymore. So he, in his own way, kind of worked to kind of counteract that by, you know, being so cheerful and trying to tell people jokes, to kind of see the lighter side of things, so that when they do come to the horrifying realizations of the country, they'd still be able to feel that sense of hopelessness and fear.
That's kind of sick.
It's kind of sick. You can't lose hope if you didn't have it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. And that's why he's such a pleasant character. And all the groups that I've run with, the Tales from the Undertaker is a favorite character because he genuinely means no harm to anyone. Quite the opposite. He is very encouraging and very helpful. So yeah, that's the Undertaker speciality there. No, the Undertaker is one of my favorite characters. I do enjoy playing him, and he is based off the Undertaker from Black Butler.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah, he was like the whole idea of him doing stuff for jokes.
Is that the hamster
came
model
from-
you were talking about?
I like this
No.
artwork. Yeah.
But yeah, no, the artwork just looked awesome. So yeah, I was a very big fan of that. All right, so after you guys had been done in Carrion Hill, you got a special invite to go and meet the heroes of the Helsing Agency.
That's right.
How did you guys feel? How did you guys feel about that whole debacle?
Oh, it was so disappointing.
Well, okay, well tell us what happened. Tell us what happened.
Well, we like went to meet them, and they basically told us, and we said like, hey, we're gonna work with you guys.
Yeah, we
on
got
this
like
next
a
job that you have.
we got like a good word put in for us by
by
Van Helsing.
no arms.
By no arms,
by no arms.
Valentine.
Valentine.
No, that's not Valentine.
Yeah, this.
No, by Rosenvale.
Rosenvale.
Rosenvale. Yeah.
I was like,
sorry.
what?
Yeah, no, Valentine hated us.
Yeah, the Rosenvale. Sorry,
Rosenvale.
Rosenvale.
I always felt like I never felt like Valentine hated us. I always felt like it was more like he was like the disappointed father. You know, like he could see that we had potential and we just weren't living up to it, and so he was always just like,
I don't think he ever liked us.
I don't think that's true. I think he liked us.
I don't think he
All right,
liked
well,
some of us.
All right, well let's introduce the Helsing and let's take a look at them. So the group basically journeyed to go and meet with the Helsing to basically get vetted to see if they were worthy of helping the Helsing agents in their next big escapade. So they underwent a couple of trials that were administered by the members of the Helsing agency. So let's take a look at some of these guys right now. So the first trial came at the hands of Ogrim Van Helsing, who was actually a half troll alchemist. So let me just pull up his character right here. There he is. Oh no, things are going terrible. Things are going terribly wrong. 1 second. Okay, that'll go away, and there I go. Okay, good. All right. No. All right, so here's Ogrim. So Ogrim was a half troll, and his backstory is actually a lot simpler than most. He actually has a secret past of being quite a vicious and voracious troll, even though he was the runt of his particular group. But he thought that there was so much more to life than simply, you know, going around smashing and eating meat and all that sort of stuff. So one day he actually smashed a caravan that was filled with books and ended up learning quite a lot.
No.
The hair that you see he's grown, he has actually cultivated and used alchemy in order to try and take on a more humanoid appearance. Even coming up with concoctions to reduce his size and girth. And that's kind of that's kind of where he kind of comes from. So I mean, as you can see on his shoulder, you've got the symbol of the Helsing once more, the bat fighting the wyvern. Various scrolls, tools, implements, potions, etc. Ogrim is, as you pretty much see him, he's a very, very lovable, gentle kind of character who tries his damned hardest to not get really angry and agitated at people. His test was a test of intelligence, and he gave you guys a puzzle box.
Which we opened.
Yeah, we got the puzzle
Did we?
box.
We opened it. Didn't get
We
the.
opened it.
Oh, that's right.
We didn't get the riddle that was inside.
So yeah, the puzzle box is
That's
dragging.
whenever we learned that it's not entertaining to try to launch.
Oh, someone solve a riddle for
A
40
bunch of
minutes.
people solve a riddle unsuccessfully for 30 minutes.
Oh, that was so bad. Yeah.
I do remember that, and they kind of pat you on the shoulder and said, "That's okay. You gave it your best." Now I'm going to reveal something for you guys because I feel like, you know, this is a show about revealing stuff. So, you know how with alchemists like Darby, there's the whole mutagen thing that happens, and you know you get the mutagen, blah 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 blah, and you get to turn into a monster. Well, Ogrim kind of has the reverse thing, and if he doesn't take his mutagen, this is what Ogrim turns into.
Oh
Shit.
jeez.
Let me see if I can fit that onto the screen. There we go.
So he has like the reverse mutagen.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And he hates this form. It is a wild, frenzied red troll berserker that you know kind of undermines all of his efforts to try and become you know a civilized person.
Yeah.
And that for him is like a fate worse than death. Is basically being transformed into from you know his very calm demeanor into that creature.
Yeah. Interesting.
There's a like my mutagen, I would typically become more dexterous and lose wisdom.
Also, g'day guys who are joining us for this stream. This is the wrap party for the Tales from the Undertaker series. We're just kind of reminiscing, talking about some of the old stuff, and throwing out some of the spoilers of things that may have been missed, or maybe people are curious about. If you've got any questions you want to ask, throw them in the chat, and I'll answer them. So after Ogrim's very long trial, you then did a more direct battle with a ghost, Eva, or Evelyn. Sorry,
it wasn't direct.
No, that's very true. Evelyn was a spiritualist with a whose twin sister had basically perished. And that's kind of cool. Can you guys see I don't know if you guys can see this, but let me see if I can enlarge it a bit more. But she's actually legitimately translucent and you could see through her.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of cool. I didn't realize that before, but yay, she's a little opaque, which is kind of cool. Anyway, so she was a famous opera singer, a diva who had hundreds of bills, and her sister had perished when they were children. And they were identical twins. So when she manifested the spirit of her sister, they always kind of looked the same. Yeah, her story I'm not going to reveal too much because there is a whole... Okay, so apparently Hire a Mercenary says, "Hi, I'm here to make fun of the guy wearing a gray shirt." Please feel free to. If you write anything in the chat, I will say it out loud. So
Hi,
yeah,
Hire.
go ahead.
How are you? Who has a gray shirt?
You do.
It was a gray shirt. It's a good,
blue.
cool gray shirt.
First I looked at
All
mine
right.
and I was like, nope, I'm just purple. I'm good.
I'm fine. And I think I'm wearing red, but all right. So yeah, Evelyn came up with a task. You guys had to fight the ghost. However, it being a ghost, you guys couldn't hit it. And it took, and then Geralt came up with a brilliant idea. Do you want to share that thought process?
Yeah, so it seemed like the whole thing was like kind of set up, you know what I mean? And like that's what I was thinking about at the time, is I was like, this feels like there's just no way that we're gonna be able to ever hit. I mean, it's a ghost.
Yeah.
Like, how can we ever hit this thing? It's not like any of us have like some sort of magical like spirit sucking ability or something like that. So I thought, since they seemed so connected, that that what was her name, Evelyn, that she must have been like kind of like the catalyst for the ghost to be there. And so I figured if I could like knock her unconscious, it would kind of like break her connection to that realm. And I mean, I guess I was like kind of right.
Yeah. Kind of.
Yeah, that's pretty close, and yeah, you actually did manage to very successfully defeat that challenge. So that kind of put you on one for one. The next challenge came from a more stern and discerning individual, and that was, of course, Khalil's childhood hero, Valentine. No, I don't know. I mean, like, give me a second. I'm just gonna very quickly. All right. I want to take the moment to like appreciate just how pretty this man is.
Beautiful.
He's beautiful. Now, Valentine is kind of like the diametric opposite of what the leader of the Hellsing is. The leader of the Hellsing I haven't shown just yet. His name is Arthur, and we'll get to him in due time. But Valentine is very strict. He's very stern. He's very practical. He's no nonsense. And he is a Dhampir. So he is actually a part vampire.
Oh.
As you can see, like the runic circles and stuff on his armor literally cover everywhere, which offer him wards and protections against anything and everything that might cause him to, worry.
Yeah.
And you kind of, I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's also the Hellsing symbol on the tip of his blade, on the pommel. Even his boots, these are literally his ghost stomping boots.
Literally his ghost stomping boots.
Yeah, he can literally stomp ghosts, and I thought that was hilarious. Again, the artist did an amazing job on this one, but Valentine's story is actually okay. Valentine's story actually comes in at the start of either book 3 or 4, and I'm not going to reveal what it is because it's his relationship with Arthur and how him and Arthur actually first met.
Oh.
So I'm not going to reveal that one, but he has actually been in service to Arthur's family since his father's time. So he actually knew Nigel Van Helsing, which was Nathaniel Van Helsing, who was Arthur's father, and that's who he was serving. So Valentine's quest for you guys was kind of a tricky one. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it, Justin?
So
You thought I was going to say Zach. I didn't.
He had us all touch this. It was a cube, right?
It's like an orb of some sorts,
orb.
yeah.
He had us all touch the orb, and there was like a flash, and basically he was like, "All right, well, you failed." This orb like scanned us or whatever, and we were found wanting. So we thought we failed, and then we went to leave, and the way we had come in through this place, there was like a bartender,
tavern.
that like owned the tavern, who was also a vampire,
Yeah.
and
I
she
forgot
was
about
now
that.
dead as we were leaving. And there were like 3 suspects, and we pretty quickly realized that this was probably the actual test.
No, we didn't. We didn't.
Yeah, we didn't know yet at first.
Right.
Actually, we. Yeah, you're right. We didn't know, but then I think we did kind of figure out, like, wait a second, this might still be.
Yeah.
We didn't know, but we
knew we
like,
had to do
figured.
something, and this was actually a point where Darby got like more upset with Raylan, because it was the second time where we definitely did figure it out, because
We did not.
we figured out we were in a test, but we failed the test. And Darby was pissed off at Raylan because she attacked the evil dude. And Darby figured that it was like that wasn't like the straightforward answer was not the answer, and she like made the executive decision and attacked him anyway.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that basically I think it was you and me were basically like clearly like this is way too obvious that it would be him.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, "Oh, there's a bite." Must have been the
No,
spider.
she used detect evil. She used like her detect good and evil.
Yeah,
or
she used
whatever,
detect evil.
and the guy was evil, so she attacked him.
Yeah, that's right.
The
Even
actual
though we
killer
were
was
like-
the
we were
druid.
like, just because he's evil doesn't mean that he's guilty.
No, the actual killer was just a random snake.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just a random
just a
snake, yeah.
And we were like just about to get to the point where we would have figured that out, but she attacked him.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
didn't.
ended
We didn't
it.
take enough time. Like we still needed more time to figure out what was going on. Because I remember it was really suspicious because the spider wasn't that big, but the bites were
was a
like
snake.
it was like snake-sized bites, and so
Yeah.
it was like, well, clearly it wasn't the spider then because the bites are like too big.
Yeah,
And then she was like, nope, kill him.
I failed my observation, my perception check by a little bit because there was like blood on the back and like kind of like a crawl space that I missed
Yeah.
perceiving.
Well, it happens. But yes, sadly, that was the nail in the coffin that made them decide to leave you guys behind for their particular quest.
Very sad.
This message comes from Carbine. Zach, fun fact. Zach's mother had breastfed him until he was 15.
It's
Wow.
true. It's actually that's incorrect. I'm sorry. It was 16. Carbine.
16.
You're wrong.
16. Okay,
Zach
so
was
so you need.
I thought you
We'll
were
need
still
to-
doing it.
It's on and off
We'll
again. It
need to
doesn't
amend-
count as breastfeeding if you do it every once in a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
when it
has to be
becomes
consistent.
recreational.
Yeah, when it
When it becomes recreational. I'm an amateur breastfeeder.
my hobby.
Yes, thank you for that. I will change the Wikipedia entry
Thank
in a moment. All right, so the group had basically failed that task. I mean, like I feel like Khalil at this point was a little bit because you got a secret message from Valentine,
I did.
and it kind of hurt a little bit. Do you remember what the message was?
I'm trying to remember.
It obviously hurt deep.
I don't remember if it was something as cryptic as like things aren't always as they seem or something, but
It was.
was it something like that?
It was something along the lines of that you need to be able to realize what is real and what is an illusion, and that was referring to like the way Khalil looked at Valentine was always with admiration, and he was always like imagining Valentine as this big hero.
Yeah.
And it was Valentine both giving him a hint at the answer to the puzzle, but at the same time I am not the Valentine in your imagination. I'm not this person to look up to. I am something else, and you need to get that through your head. And because I don't have time for fanboys. And yeah, it was a very touching. It was a very, very sad moment, I think, for Khalil.
Yeah.
There was actually like a moment of silence where no one wanted to say anything because it was very awkward, and everyone was like, "Oh, he just had his little fanboy heart broken." But it was not to last long, because after the trial, despite that, the leader of the Helsing had offered very encouraging words, and he was an awesome character, and that was, of course, Arthur Van Helsing, who very quickly became Khalil's new hero.
Very true. Khalil now idolizes Arthur Van Helsing.
Oh, how easily swayed.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm an idol
Look at
jumper, okay? How
Yeah,
does he
look at
not
him.
sway you?
How beautiful is this man?
He's a beautiful man.
So Arthur, his armor is so shiny, and there's the symbol of the Helsing.
Damn.
It's very cool artwork, and of course, golden sword, because why not?
Yeah.
And $1 million smile. I mean, look at that. That is a man that trims his nose hair. Okay, so Arthur basically offered the group some very encouraging words, and sent them on their way, and even had arranged to place to get Evelyn to actually place the Pathfinder Chronicles in your room, so that you would find the job application for the basic guards over in Castle Corvishaw.
Yep.
Well, except, remember at first it didn't work out because Dralt was super drunk
Oh, yeah.
and stumbled across it.
And then suspected, who the hell put this here? What does it mean? There's someone chasing us. Guys, we have to kill people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like I was drunk, and I put it down, and then I went to bed, and I didn't read it at all because I was so drunk, and then woke up in the morning and it was there, and it was you were like, where did this come from? And I was like, I don't know. Someone put it there. What do you expect me to do?
Gave it more
someone must have
mysticism
broke
than
into
it
our
should have
room.
had.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone broke into our room and put it there.
Another message from a higher mercenary. Well, since New Mexico has not legalized weed yet, why not breastfeed until 16?
Why not?
That's a fair point.
That's a fair point. If your mom has the medicinal weed, I think it can be passed on through the breast milk. So.
Yeah,
I don't know if... Oh, so really, it's kind of a rolling ball effect thing. You don't. It's it's illegal to smoke weed or to trade in weed, but at the same time, breast milk, perfectly fine.
Yep, I've
Buy
never
that
heard breast milk
buy-
being illegal, so
It's
Buy that shit at the grocers.
buy the stuff at the grocery.
Breast milk is decriminalized now.
Yeah.
Oh dear. All
You
right.
only get a fine when you
Actually,
take
though, fun fact is that Michael, you might not know this, is that weed is
Probably
legal in Colorado, which is our northern neighbor. So.
It's true.
So if you want to smoke pot, you just go a bit north.
Drive 3 hours.
Yeah,
and-
you drive 3 hours away, and then you can just smoke as much pot as you want.
Yeah.
But
Or
here's the
just do what
question:
you
Could
want
you come?
anyway, 'cause people-
Could you come back while you were high?
I can't. Yeah, now because it's
You
decriminalized.
can't bring it across the border for sure.
Yeah, no,
No,
you-
No, but if
can't
you-
actually, you can bring. Well, I mean, you'll get a fine if you have under a certain amount, but you can. I think you could come across the border high, and what are they gonna do?
Yeah.
What are they gonna
As
do?
long as you're not driving,
driving.
because it's still legal to
Oh,
drive.
that's true.
while-
Yeah, if you're driving, yeah, I guess that's bad.
Yeah. Say you weren't driving, but I mean, like you wouldn't have any on you, and it's like, yeah, but you did smoke. It's like, yeah, I smoked it 3 hours away.
Yeah, I think you're
I
fine.
think that's okay because it wouldn't be. I don't think.
Well,
that
it depends
that would
on
be
if you're
illegal.
talking, like what I guess. Well, it'd have to be a federal agency.
All
for it to
right.
be okay. But anyway.
If there are any federal agents listening to this podcast,
Oh yeah.
let us know in the comments. Tell us if we're safe or not. And I mean, it is illegal in WA where I am, but if I'm being perfectly honest, I live in a pretty shitty part of my particular area, and meth is actually a big thing, more than
Don't
a lot
worry,
of
it's
things.
everywhere.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh no! As in like it's like the trashiest shit too. It's like it's not even like.
TV show about our drug problem.
Although to be
It's
fair,
very famous.
To be fair, meth is not a huge problem here.
No.
So it's kind of
No, it's a
weird that
huge
they- that they made a whole TV series about New Mexico having this really horrible meth problem, which is not.
Well, that's because of the whole
It
Breaking
does
Bad
have
thing.
this- it
No,
does-
that's what I mean. Is like they
doesn't-
made Breaking Bad about like this meth problem we have, and it's like we don't really have this like. I mean, we do have people that are meth heads, but
It's a bigger problem in smaller towns.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's not, but they show it in
But-
Albuquerque, and they're like, oh yes, this is where all the cartels. Are.
But you know what is okay, we're gonna leave on this one because I feel like we're straying a little bit.
Yeah. A
story.
weird, strange.
Weird, strange thing. But I think more importantly, right, is a lot of uni students actually use dexamphetamines. And the thing is, it's very readily accepted that happens. And the thing is, it's still kind of a, I mean, like I get it, but at the same time, I think that's still something to consider. Like when we weigh things up, like why is it that these performance enhancing drugs are kind of like, oh yes, you can use a stimulant if you want to study, and we'll kind of turn a blind eye. I mean, it's just it's one of those things. All right, so moving back.
Prohibition just doesn't work.
Yeah, that's true. Prohibition did not work at all.
I feel like it worked in Gomorrah.
In Sodom and Gomorrah?
Yeah, it's just like, all right, no sex, no drugs, no alcohol. Screw you!
And then the city got burned down.
Salt.
For being the most sinful.
Everyone is
like,
salt.
The most sinful city in the world, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So there you go. All right. So after you guys had gotten through your debauchery and ended up reading about your new job, you made your way across the country to this to Castle Corvishaw, to the place where there was like all these shanty towns set up. They were getting ready for this big banquet.
Oh, hold on, real quick. We forgot like a massive thing.
Something happens after the Helsing thing and the
Raylan
Castle
dies.
Corvishaw. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
We totally
that's right.
glossed over that.
It's-
And then
What?
And then Raylan died, and then
That's right. All right. So what happened? All right. So what happened? Now you guys in the newspaper in the Pathfinder Chronicle, you did read about orcs being in the area and like there being like some dangerous sorts.
So me and Geralt, on the way there, we ran into, I think it was a fortune teller who told us where to find a flower to heal our mummy rots.
Yeah, because we got mummy rot from. What did we get mummy rot from?
Some corpse exploded. Some of the dudes exploded.
one of the really terrible undead.
It was. I think it was the guy that
carrying out.
kidnapped you two.
Yeah, I think
think it
Oh,
was
okay.
him.
Okay.
because he was some kind of spellcaster zombie.
You know, I
yeah,
know
that
it's
sounds
really, I know it was really bad, but all I could think of was mummies. No, it wasn't mummies, but like when do we get mummy?
Wasn't mummies.
Yeah. Anyways, she told us to find some kind of red flower or something to heal us.
And then we had to stab a dagger. We had to like eat the flower or something, or like
Stab the dagger into
and
our
then
heart.
stab
Yeah.
the dagger through our heart,
And
and
like
that would
there's
heal
some
it.
intense ritual, like
Yeah.
at the beginning of like some moon cycle.
Yeah, that's
or-
right. Yeah, we had to do
This
all
whole
very specific
whole thing,
stuff.
and so we all went out to this flower patch.
Rosendale's solution was much more simple.
Yeah.
Was much simpler.
Rosendale's was
but,
definitely
But
And-
way more expensive
way more
if you really want to.
these orcs popped out of the ground when we were there, and we got into a fight with them. One of them had this crazy like wolf hands,
Yeah, a skull,
some kind of weird skull weapon.
and he
It was
got
like a blood rage flower
Yeah.
that we were around, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a
it
blood
would,
rage
it
flower.
would send orcs into like a rage. And then, we were fighting them. It seemed like a totally like normal fight. We were super close to winning. We were like really close to winning, and then the orc,
Nat 20.
yeah, nat 20, and then confirmed crit. Oh, actually, no, double nat 20 for both of the attacks. That's what it was, and then both confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it was like,
She just, yeah, dead.
I ripped.
Tore her head clean off.
Yep.
yeah. And that was the end of.
Raylan.
And somehow she said, remember she said, take care of Prince. Oh! Those were her final words. Take care of Princess.
Yeah.
And we said, she'll be fine.
Then what happened?
Princess didn't want to come with us, and we're just like, oh, she'll be fine. She's a horse.
Gave up.
Yeah, we didn't even try.
Nope, we didn't. She turned into a demon monster and tried to kill us.
Yeah,
That's what
a
happens.
few months
It
later. It
kind
kind of makes sense in hindsight. Now I'm like,
Yeah, whatever.
oh,
fuck her.
right.
Oh, that makes sense why she went evil and decided to try and kill us all. Ah!
Yeah, the one,
I
the
always-
one thing she asked us to do
We didn't do.
in her dying words, we didn't do.
So we left
That's pretty
from
much
there
it.
after she died and did the barrel and all that. We ran into a crashed cart with a very I don't even know how to describe her. Rough.
Yeah,
looking,
rough and tumble.
looking individual.
Mm-hmm.
Sorora.
Oh, that's yes. Now, what was your impression when you first met Sorora at that point? Like, oh, how convenient! There's a healer right here, ready for us to, us to be able to help out with,
Yeah,
or to be able to help us out.
She kind of just looked like a damsel in distress at first, like any NPC
Yeah.
he'd kind of run across, just like someone who needed help.
Darby was very suspicious of her to begin with, and how convenient she seemed.
Well,
But then, like
and
I
then
said,
of course
he
we found out
eventually
later.
just realized that she was just a liar, and that was his way to dismiss it. Was that like she wasn't actually like gonna hurt anything? She just liked to lie.
Yeah,
I was wrong,
she lied a lot.
but
And initially, she wanted to look for some certain flower, which I'm guessing was a lie
lie.
the whole time.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, that was definitely.
we ran into her, and she joined the party, kind of for a bit, just because she needed help. That's how that started, and we all went to Castle Covershore.
Indeed, and at Castle Covershore, you embarked on probably your second most noteworthy achievement, which was, of course, the saving of the Prince of Ustalav.
Yeah.
yeah. And this
So
is
you guys got through a-
wheel for shouting, "Do it!" Right as I was about to do it.
That guy had a bear in him anyways.
All right, so let's start with the first thing that happened, which was, of course, when you arrived, you were given a particular task. What was this task?
Well, like right when we arrived, or
Investigator dude.
Yeah, right when you arrived.
Who do we have to
Investigate
investigate?
the Nazi doctor.
Count Barasak or Count Karasak?
I know he wasn't a
Karamak.
Nazi.
Karamak.
Count Karamak.
Karamak, yeah.
He was kind of a Nazi.
He was kind of a Nazi, but he ended up not being a bad guy.
No,
This-
yeah, he wasn't that
kind
bad.
of. No, we
actually.
don't. Yeah.
We don't really know, but like it as far as our story goes, he wasn't.
Yeah, we
really-
went into the castle, and then we met with the captain of the guards, and he asked us to investigate Count Karamak because the blood moon ball
Oh,
was
that's the
coming up
Nosferatu
recently.
guy first.
Yeah, there's
we had
Nosferatu.
to investigate
Oh,
the
that's
Nosferatu
right.
guy first.
That was
Ferratu.
Mhm.
that was the first guy that we got the
I
quest
think
for.
that was his name,
Nosferatu. Nosferatu. This captain of the guard gave us that mission, and
That's whenever we realized just how good of a liar Sorora is, because she convinced that guy to give her his coat after they caught us in a room we weren't supposed to be in.
Yeah.
Draw almost. It was kind of funny. Draw got thrown into there as a midget, like even smaller. Like
I got
tiny.
shrunk down so I could sneak into
Oh, and
there
you-
from the
And
outside.
that cat thing. That
It was
gargoyle
a
cat
gargoyle.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was gonna
it
eat
like
you.
started playing with me, like toying with me. I don't remember how I got out of that. I got out of it.
Arthur got in there and kind of. Oh no, you had to do something to impress the cat gargoyle monster, like a game, a riddle.
It was just
Or a
playing
riddle.
with you.
You had to play with a riddle.
I
Yeah.
don't think it was ever actually going to kill you.
Yeah, maybe you're right. That's probably true.
All right, and so what happened with Count Karamak after you? Sorry, not the with Count Renalk
Yeah.
after he discovered your somewhat incursion into his private chambers.
So we'll light our way out of it.
Yeah, I guess he didn't really seem as upset as he should have.
Yeah, he was like not very upset about it at all. He was kind of like, whatever.
And then they told us never to be back here again in his room, but. And then Darby stole his journal.
Mm-hmm. I swiped
Oh
it
yes,
last
that's
second
right, you did.
with my tail.
Yeah, and he was
Oh,
doing
and that-
experiments.
Oh, and that does actually also remind me that you guys didn't act. You guys missed a whole dungeon in that little bit.
Yeah, it sounds right. We learned about the stuff going on in the basement, and we never investigated.
We never
Oh, I totally
investigated
forgot about
Yeah.
that.
the basement. Yeah.
Oh, with
That
the
was
weird
pretty funny.
experiments. There
Yeah.
was,
He
the
was
experiment.
tied in with the guy who, the German doctor guy.
They were bringing in dead bodies and doing something with them.
Yeah, I remember that.
But we didn't figure out what.
We don't know. They were doing
Yeah, we don't know now.
No, it was pretty cool though. You guys did reasonably well, to be honest. I thought like you were gonna catastrophically fail, and I thought you guys were gonna end up just like basically falling on your heads. But no, you ended up getting the information you needed, and you ended up you ended up taking it out and using what you could, although you got like a permanent ban from that particular wing,
Yeah.
which was no good. No es bueno.
No, es bueno.
No es bueno. After which you were then put on to another task, which was, of course, to test out the security system of the banquet and the events. That was actually a pretty
fun.
That was actually a pretty interesting encounter. So, how did you guys manage to infiltrate the castle?
Well, didn't you know, Michael?
Series of disguises.
I didn't know.
Didn't you know that we were very talented musicians in all of our character sheets?
Yeah.
As we rolled them.
I think I rolled okay. I was the only one that rolled
Yeah,
okay,
so,
and everyone else rolled amazing.
It took us forever to decide what we were gonna do to sneak in, and
There's like 4 of us that made performance checks to try to fake being a
I think
band,
2
and
of
3
you-
of the 4 of us rolled natural 20.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it was. And I think I rolled like a 15 or something like that.
It was like fate.
it was pretty
But
awesome.
first, we dressed up as cooks.
No, we dressed up cooks afterwards.
Oh
you
yeah,
and me did.
that's
after
got
we
us
broke in.
into the building.
Yeah, we all
and
did.
Then we went to the entertainment place with the disguises, and that's where we found the cooks' disguises. Then we went and found the Swedish chef.
Oh, the Swedish drop.
Me and
We,
And I got actually got you all to start doing that. That was pretty funny.
yeah.
oh yeah,
And,
Yeah, because we had to do like some sort of magical thing, and so we had to repeat after him. I remember.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
It was
this
pretty
is when
funny.
we found out that not only were we spectacular singers and musicians, we were also gourmet chefs because we passed all of those roles somehow as well.
That was awesome.
very talented.
and got our way to serve the main dish to the king.
On the
In
way,
which case, I baked one of the powder packets into it, so whenever he was going to bite into it, it would explode all over him, and we would win.
But it was never really a challenge, remember? Because Valentine basically knew
yeah, I was about to say,
everything.
we walked through the hallway and ran into Valentine and a team of his people, and Valentine like made it so like he didn't like act like he didn't know who we were, but he like touched us up and fixed our dresses and stuff, you know, and then said, "Be on your way," and then
And then it turned out that he had the blue powder and he put it on us.
he killed all 3 of us.
Yep.
Killed, but
Yep. and we thought we had succeeded, and we were like, yes.
No, we hadn't. Even then, we didn't think we had succeeded, because right before,
Oh,
before
that's
we
right.
even knew we fell, right before we were about to, like, he was gonna take it from me, and then you were like, "Do it!" And then everybody jumped into action before we could do it.
Oh, that's right, because you said... No, you said something like, essentially like,
was
surprise,
waiting-
motherfucker.
I was waiting for him to actually grab it and then hit the detonator button. Just do it silently. But you were like,
Something
No,
happened.
hit the button.
Something
he
happened.
Said, boom. Or
Boom.
something.
Oh,
Right,
I
yeah,
said
remember.
And all of a sudden it
Walks
was
up-
like, you couldn't
Walks
move your
up
hand.
to the victim and goes boom, and then nothing happens.
Yeah, because you couldn't move
I
your
got
hands.
paralyzed.
Yeah, because then you
Yeah.
were paralyzed because they immediately knew.
paralyzed as Darby was giving Khalil like the deathest stare ever. He was just
Oh
like,
my god.
the egg got delivered to him. We just couldn't hit the button.
Yeah,
'Cause you blew our
because
cover
you blew
before
our
we did
cover.
it.
I said boom. I could have been saying boom. I could have been like
"Why
finger
would
gunning
you
your
have been
friends.
saying boom?"
I could have been like yo boom, yo boom, yo boom.
I have a feeling though, if you have the ability to paralyze someone and you're protecting a king, if someone even mentions anything about, even
Yeah,
if they said,
it's
"Yo,
like
you're the
whenever you're
bomb,"
in
you'd
the
be like
airport.
paralyzed.
Whenever you're in the airport, okay? Don't even make jokes about bombs.
Oh god, we were
Or
so close.
weapons.
That was so frustrating.
Yep.
I was so mad at you for that.
We still died before that. So.
It's true, yeah.
Just walk in. Walk in, hey guys, listen, me and my girl, right? We're gonna blow this place up. Yeah. Our relationship is explosive.
Yeah.
We are the bomb.
We are the boom.
We are the bomb. Oh god, they got a bomb.
While I
No.
set my suitcase down and go grab her.
Yeah, we failed. We failed, and we gave them some pointers on how to improve security.
Because you did get pretty far.
The
Although you
security
did
alarm
realize
ended
very-
up being him crashing through a window, so it was like, oh well, shit,
Yeah,
we didn't see that.
I
coming.
want to get to the point to where were they
That mosquito guy.
when the mosquito
Yeah.
dude broke in? Because the only person in the room was
Dr.
Evelyn.
D was involved.
Well, he didn't show up.
Well,
till
no. No. They were there, but they were fighting the other Sturges. Remember, they were the Clockwork Sturges.
Yeah, they were locked outside the door.
No, they
No.
were
No,
in
no,
there
no,
with
in-
us.
in-
We were all
They
fighting.
They were in
them.
there with
the
you.
ballroom.
Yeah, you only fought like 3 of them. There were like 12.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they were doing stuff. They just got very quickly overwhelmed.
And that
Um,
mosquito guy, did we ever find out who he was, or did Dr. D take
No,
him
it
before
was
we found
it
out?
was
Oh, yeah, it was-
Count
it was-
Karamac's
Yeah, little
assistant.
shit
Yeah,
assistant.
it was a-
And he had something to do with Dr. D, but I can't remember what it was.
No, it was, we were about to defeat the guy and capture him, and then Dr. D knocked us all out and took him. And he was like, "Don't let this guy
Oh.
take me."
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was like, "Don't let him take me." Oh, and it was like super
We're like,
creepy.
"Sorry, we're already unconscious."
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
Sorry, Fat. Sorry, but I can't help but feel you deserve this.
Yeah, we had this giant chase scene where we chase after the dude who broke in.
Yeah.
The would-be
Been a
assassin.
douche.
Yeah, and then Khalil had one cool moment and then instantly got knocked out by the doctor. Which I can't even imagine how high my will would have been to survive that.
Oh, I'm sure there's no
sleep
way
spell
we
or
could
whatever.
have.
No, it's the only way you would have been able to do it is with the natural 20, and if you
Okay.
did do it with a natural 20, it would have been much worse.
Oh no.
Oh god, because he probably would have just bashed you over the head to knock you out or something.
No, he would have kidnapped him.
Oh.
Like that's the thing is anyone who doesn't go down then gets kidnapped.
Oh my god, that would have been horrifying.
Is that because the spell puts people to sleep with anyone who has the mind worms? They survive his little thing.
Why would he design it that way?
No,
And
but
he
it's
just
more.
find anyone that has them.
No, it's more. You've got a strong will, and he might want to experiment on you.
Okay.
Uh,
Still evil.
Now
Yeah.
we did miss out. We did miss out on one very important part of the adventure, and that was, of course, the introduction of a very poignant friend
Oh yeah.
Benny
of the
Rat
group,
Benny,
Benny the Rat.
and his dead.
Hey,
sister.
Benny the Rat, okay?
I'm Benny the Rat. What's
Forget about it.
Benny the Rat. I got my sister's eyeballs in my pocket.
Yeah.
up? Benny was fun.
Benny was a great.
All right,
character.
tell us about who Benny was. Tell us who Benny was.
Benny was a randomly generated character from a one of your cards.
One of the plot twist cards.
That,
that's
that
right.
got thrown into the game multiple times, along with the sister. Then we needed a guest, so one of the guests ended up playing Benny the Rat because he was like a character. And that guy was awesome at playing Benny the Rat.
Yeah, Joshua
he did it
Story.
really well.
He's a
Joshua.
Foss. He's a voice actor.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Vossasa.
This was an episode I wasn't here for, but I know a lot about it. So this happened before the actual break-in to kill the assassination attempt. Geralt, Benny, and then went to look for, I think it was the person who had killed Benny's
We
sister.
were trying to get the. This is at the point where we were fighting. This is where I get mixed up with the noir game because it's kind of similar.
Oh, no, this is where. So you guys did that, and you guys end up somehow to go into the woods.
What were we finding? We weren't finding people with holes in their heads, right? That was
No.
That's
That was
noir.
the other one.
You only found the holes in the heads from the noir guys.
No, we found it was the dolls. Remember?
right. And there was that creepy doll guy that was following us but not doing anything.
And
Oh,
he turned out he
right.
was made out of sand.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, right. There was that. All right, so I'll explain this bit of the adventure for you. So, Sorora or Madison actually couldn't make that session.
Neither
So-
could
Oh,
I.
this is
I
the
wasn't
one that
there.
she planned. Oh my god, I forgot about that. She like planned it with you.
That's right.
And remember,
She
I
did,
just do you remember me just randomly cracking up when you said
Yeah.
there was a wagon with a red substance in it?
with
and
the
I
red,
just-
with red blood. In it.
Yeah, and I just fucking lost it because
Yeah,
that
what was that about?
That was so we had this joke that that we'd basically put together. She got this wagon from something. Oh, it was from a gift swap kind of an elephant gift thing. And she got a wagon, like a wagon you had to like assemble, and I got like a scary coloring book and like blood capsules.
Okay.
And so we just started joking around that we would build the wagon and just fill it with like the blood capsules and then just wheel it in front of a retirement home. So there's just this random blood wagon. sitting there. And so that's why I laughed so hard when you were describing it, because I knew immediately that she came up with
What it
that.
was. Yeah, she did. So, yeah, Madison had come up with the whole serial killer angle. She came up with all of this stuff. So obviously now in hindsight, you know that that Sorora, your healer, was actually an evil villain. What she had actually done is she needed some time to go and communicate with her father, who had sent her on the assassination quest. Now, at the time, she needed to buy some time. And she had actually met with Count Karamak's assistant, who is also a member of the same order, the Whispering Way.
And we actually, I remember we had to take our headphones off for that
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
when they talked.
So she had figured that out, and she had approached him about it. So he explained that he was here to kill the prince, and she explained she was here to kill you if you got out of hand. So the two of them came up with an idea to get you guys off their trail, and that was with the Ragman. So disguised as the original Ragman, the doctor basically ran you guys around pretending like to set up these murders. He actually was the one that killed Benny's sister.
Oh shit.
And once he had done that, Sorora then used a zombie, like a regular zombie, to lure you guys out into the forest where her warg was waiting for you. The one that she...
Right.
It's hers.
The
yeah.
one-
That's where you got your spine ripped out.
Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah,
That really
so that was
sucked.
where... So that was where that happened, which gave obviously you guys, there's this murderer and everyone's on alert for the Ragman and this puppets and this undead warg,
They can
and
talk.
no one,
Yeah.
no one paid any attention to what the Sturgeon was doing.
Damn.
So that was
Interesting.
pretty cool. And full props to Madison for actually coming up with that story, because she actually did. Like, I had no part in that. Like, that was all her idea of what we should do and how we should go. So it was a very cool adventure.
It was nice.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Fun. The castle closure was my favorite part.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, tell us about what happened during the castle, during the Blood Moon banquet.
Well, I mean, like us testing the defenses and stuff that we already talked about. That was like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, like all of it was cool. But like the actual Blood Moon Ball was cool because the Sturge guy showing up, I thought he was a cool villain.
Yeah?
Nice aesthetic.
Mhm.
I love the sturgeon. Like the thing is like having the whole big proboscis nose, and you guys knowing about Dr. D. You guys went exactly where I wanted you to. It's like maybe this is Dr. D, and and that was so cool. I love that, and the battle was really good as well. Like you guys managed to get your few licks in and stuff like that. And even though you didn't defeat Dr. D or capture the sturgeon, you guys. You prevented the assassination, so that was exactly it, and you were well recognized for your efforts there, and that was the end of the first book, with you guys having successfully I solidified your name as Sweepers.
Yeah.
All right, so what was your like okay, so including the Helsing test. That whole bit, the journey to Corvushaw, the security test, the actual attack by this blood drinking this blood drinking Sturge vigilante. What was your favorite moment for both you and your character? Let's start with John.
I think my favorite part. Let me think. Oh man, it's really hard because there was like a couple of different things that I really liked, but I think the one thing
go with your top two then. If
my
you
top two, okay. My top two was probably the I think that was when Geralt had sex, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So that was one of my favorites. Just like as like a person, I thought that was really fun for us to like play out, and just Khalil just
I'm
like
glad I had
wandering
sex.
in, totally innocent. And then wait a second. So isn't that when you like? Oh no, that was later that you had sex.
No. This is when. Yeah, no. Geralt, it was with the halfling girl
the
from
girl
like
died, and then
one
you
of the
brought her
bands,
back was
and
like, she's sleeping.
Oh yeah, she died.
And that guy was like, she's dead. He's like, no, she's sleeping. And he's
No,
like, no,
maybe unconscious.
She's dead. Don't be silly.
Yeah, that was pretty
'Cause she-
dark.
because she also had that symbol on her inner thigh.
The murder symbol. Yeah, I know. I remember.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was really weird. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
She was actually part of the Sturgeon's plan as well. She just unexpectedly died.
Oh shit. Interesting.
Oh man.
Because that was how that's how he was originally going to get in.
He was gonna use her.
Yeah, 'cause as part of the band.
Oh. That's right. She's a.
But you guys had increased security along that way, so he could no longer sneak into the ball because you guys had upped the security. So he had to come up with another way to get in.
Which was fly through the
Jump through the window.
It's a pretty good. way.
Actually, it was to kill Benny's sister and steal her invitation that she had stolen.
Oh.
Oh. Uh-huh. Oh yeah, so then I guess just to move things along. So then I guess my other favorite one was dealing with the Beast of Lepidstadt.
He was fun.
Yeah.
I really liked the
The
Beast
big-
of Lepidstadt.
He did not like Darby. This invisible thing.
Yeah.
All right. What about yourself? What about for Darby? What was his top moments?
My top moments for that like little part was definitely breaking in and testing the castle defenses. I thought that was really fun.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Was this the one where you guys tried to run from Rosenvale and he shot someone, like from like a million miles away or something?
Well, Rosenfeld was inside our play. He came in dressed as a woman, like an old woman,
Yeah.
had her like face on,
Oh,
and
that's
I saw the
right.
stitches.
Yeah.
And
That's right. That's right. He was pretending to be his mother.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
god, he's a
and
sick person.
Yeah, but we
escaped.
freaked out because like I thought that it was like an undead
Uh,
creature or something. And I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be really
That it-
bad. This thing's gonna like explode or something and kill all of us.
And then he's like, ha ha, it's me.
yeah.
Yeah, and we're like, Roosevelt, get out of here!
Get out of here, Roosevelt. What are you doing? He's like level 15 hanging out with like some level 5s.
Yeah, he's like the guy who can't get out of high school, you know?
Yeah,
that's his high school friends.
Oh, poor Roosevelt. No, no, I think it was good. I think because I remember I was running it in one of the games, and I don't know if it was with you guys or if it was at a different table, but the guys approached the gate, and as they approached the gate, they just bumped into Rosenvale, and Rosenvale's like just eyeballs them, and he's just like, yeah, you're very suspicious. Do you have what business do you have up there? And they lied and they failed, and he's like, you're gonna run, aren't you? It's like, don't run, because then you're gonna make me run. I'm gonna be very angry. And so the group started to run, and he sort of pulled out his he
That
pulled
was
out his
definitely
blue
not us.
Yeah.
I don't believe that
he,
was
he,
us.
he pulled out a gun with blue chalk on it, put it in, and just aimed and just waited. Like he actually waited till they were back in town, and they were like, we've gotten away. And then they were walking into the tavern, and all of a sudden, just bam, just across their head, one of them gets winged, and then meanwhile back up on the hill, you see Rosenville laughing, going, "Ha, right, little man."
Yeah, that was definitely
Definitely
not
not-
us.
Yeah.
That was
No,
a
because
diff-
we were
yeah.
we were
I think
friends
so.
with him because of the whole Carrion Hill incident. So
Yeah.
he would. I don't
Yeah,
think he
yeah,
would
yeah.
have done that to
He
us.
he came like you said.
He would have
came
known
dressed
us.
up as the old lady. I think
As the
it was
old
night
woman, yeah.
before.
Yeah, because he was spying on us. He
Yeah,
wanted to
it
see what our
wasn't-
secret was.
Yeah,
he
it
was trying
wasn't
to figure
really
out what our
time. He
plan was.
couldn't have assassinated us yet. It wouldn't have counted if he had assassinated us then.
Because he hadn't done anything suspicious.
It wasn't even. It
Yeah.
was like he was gonna start the next day.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we're like, just like, psh, and he's like, "Hey guys," and we're like, "What the hell? Get out of here! Get out of here!"
All right. All right. So, Khalil, for you and obviously your character, what was your crowning moment in that particular phase? I love how no one's bringing up the trial. By the way, like the Helsing trials.
Oh god, I was so disappointed with that. I can't.
It was
pick that as my
fun, but
favorite.
yeah, it was. I can't pick it as my favorite because we failed.
Yeah, we failed so bad, and I was really disappointed that we.
It was
failed
really
that
cool.
so
Yeah,
bad.
it was kind of.
It was cool as a concept.
Yeah, it was
liked
really
it.
cool. I just didn't like that we failed.
I think Khalil really liked. There's a moment when he was fighting the sturgeon where he like shattered the sturgeon's blade with a dash and like demasked him in one attack.
Wasn't that like one of the first times you ever hit?
Yeah.
Yeah, Khalil's like an all or nothing kind of guy. You
And
know?
it was after like I think me and you. It was like we were the only ones that managed to keep up with him as he was escaping during like all those skill checks.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So like
oh yeah,
they
that's
fell
right. I
behind.
think we fell
Sorora
behind.
stayed behind completely just to help with healing.
Well, which we now realize is
We now
clearly
realize
because
was-
just
yeah.
to not fight him.
And
Yep.
then you fell behind, and then me.
I
and
love
you
how the
were-
hindsight's kicking in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are like,
Oh,
oh
me and you
man,
fought
she was
against
fucking
the guy."
evil the whole time.
But no, it wasn't just us that fought against the guy because the beast came back. for a
Sorora
second.
convinced the beast to come
Yeah.
back. She saw him like moping and she talked to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably for Khalil. That
And then
that
we got
moment.
knocked out,
And then yeah.
and he took.
All right. Yeah, this point is when you entered the second book where you were heading to Thrushmore to go look for these missing children, and this is kind of like towards the end of what happened with Tales from the Undertaker. So the first port of call that you guys made, you had to travel to Undorno, and there were some things that happened on the way to Undorno that kind of really defined the table towards the end of the game. The first was, of course, having to split up the group due to a massive rock slide. And this is where I think Darby ended up cracking his first egg. If you'll
banging
forgive-
a harpy lady.
I had sex with the Strix in
I
exchange
You
for
were being-
safe passage.
that feels
you were being-
so long ago now. Just thinking about how long ago that happened.
You were being strictly professional.
Yes.
Oh.
I was being strictly professional, yeah.
Yeah, because she wanted to breed with powerful stock.
Yeah.
I think was the
Yeah.
thing for it.
And you were in
Uh,
I was stuck in some
forced to watch.
web.
Yeah,
I'm gonna, like,
He's right,
They're
yeah.
like,
Well, he says he was forced to watch. I maintain that he could have closed his eyes.
oh, that's a good point.
I think the worst thing too is that I think I had large person cast on myself, so I was huge too, so I had even bigger eyes, so I could see even better.
See, well,
You got more light in your eyes.
Yeah.
oh no. And then after which you guys had actually come into a couple of other little things. The first thing was obviously
Well, we met
Gabriel
and Aaron.
Gabriel and Aaron. You met Gabriel and Aaron, and they were. I mean, did you guys? I mean, I assume you guys had fun with them.
I love them. Yeah.
Ger-
Aaron and Gabriel were cool.
cool.
yeah,
Definitely.
Geralt didn't really get too much of a chance to interact with them, really.
No, I remember them, but
He
yeah.
was busy making his own friend with Corpsey or whatever.
Oh
the
yeah.
fuck his name
Oh,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, what was his name? Oh, I can't remember.
He had a similar name to you, right?
It was Gerald.
It was
Gerald. Yeah, that's it.
Gerald.
Yeah, I was like, I remembered it was like very similar. Yeah, Gerald.
Yeah,
Just
that's
like
right.
carrying him
So-
around. I'm like, here's Gerald, guys. And you're like, Jesus Christ.
It's a bloated corpse that floated down the landslide with you.
Yeah. Yeah, he like helped me. It was kind of like that. I think we mentioned this last time that it was like that movie
With Harry Potter, yeah.
Yeah.
The Swiss Army
With
Man.
Harry
Swiss
Potter.
Army Man. Yeah. It's like I just imagine it being like that.
It's probably a little bit. But then
And the kid
this
from
was
Jungle
also.
to Jungle.
I think this was also the first time that Khalil ended up leaving. That Zach ended up leaving his phone on during one of the shows,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he had to leave.
Yep.
and the introduction of the
The gremlin.
Gremlin.
Everyone's
What
favorite
gremlin?
character.
I forgot about that. That was around the time. Yeah, I think he was just originally introduced to annoy everyone, and then I because of how bad it went. Michael decided that permanent was my punishment after that.
No,
point.
it's because of how funny it was.
Yeah, 'cause it was. Yeah, you were very reactive to it.
Yeah. You
And
were,
the fact
you
that
were.
it was
I
like, it gave me, like, because it started with us going to the tree that was like a soothsaying tree that people were talking about. And I was like, all right, I'll give it like 5 silver. And it tells me, unfortunately, like, I'm going to give it 100 gold.
I wanted to see what it would say.
It's hilarious. And the thing is, can you imagine it from my perspective, where I know the gremlin is up there with some strings going, okay,
Oh, well then.
well,
The cherry on top of that situation was that he gave Darby back his
He
gold.
gave Darby back the 5 silver.
well, what does he need 5 silver for? He just got 100 gold.
That's right. Oh my god, I love that thing.
Oh, it's the worst.
And then later on, he stole your sword.
He stole my
Oh
sword
my god,
so
that
many
was
times.
hilarious when he stole your
No,
sword.
no, he stole it. No, he
That
stole
was
your
the
sword
first time.
once.
The
I think
first time
he's-
I
I think
lost it in the forest, I went to go find it, and it was a mimic. He's done that twice
no,
to
no,
me.
no. He did that. No.
He did
So-
it twice.
You, did,
He did
you,
it
you were
twice?
missing that
He
episode.
did that
Yeah.
Oh,
same
okay.
thing twice.
Yeah, no. The first one he stole it and replaced it with a mimic. The second time was on the dockyard,
Yeah.
where he stole the sword, but then he dropped it into a whole bunch of different swords, including the mimic sword.
Yeah.
And that's why he knew it was a mimic that time.
Yeah, because he saw that. Yeah.
I still got a mimic because I did something stupid and somehow got grabbed again.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
it
I
was-
tried to reach in to grab something or something. It's stupid.
No. You saw one of them moving, and you tried to grab the one that was moving.
and it
yeah.
like
And mi-
bit you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and mimics are literally glue. So like you grabbed onto like this sticky thing, and it just sort of sat there and just started biting you. That was pretty funny. No, the gremlin was kind of fun, but I mean, I'll also throw in kind of this bit of GMing advice here. When you do stuff like that does seem to undermine a particular player or character, you need to kind of make sure that it's kind of okay. Some players really don't respond well to that sort of thing, and you don't really want to be picking on them. But I had spoken with Zach multiple times, explaining that it's nothing personal. You know, this is your character's reactions are really great, and they kind of make for a good entertainment. And then he kept leaving his phone on for shit, and so whenever it rang, I was like, "Ha! The goblin's coming back!"
He
that
got
was kinda
he
funny.
got what came to him. Okay,
Which is kicked to
He
the
did.
sun.
he got football punted
He did.
into the sun.
That was pretty awesome.
That was very cool. All right, so in Undorno, you found a very peaceful, gentle, loving town filled with hunters and festivities and free food that you guys all ate.
Oh my god.
You know, it wasn't the first time Darby had tried human.
Spoilers.
Well, I mean, we're gonna
Spoilers.
talk about what it's like spoilers for like 20
For
seconds
like the
from
next
now.
10 minutes. So obviously things were not as they seemed as you guys were asked to, as you guys were investigating. Well, first of all, you went on a hunt
Yeah.
to basically go and try and find this white stag, and on that hunt, you found this big elk, and that's where Princess Slayer
Yep.
jumped into the.
Princess Leia.
We
Jumped
were
into
all
the mix.
convinced that we just had no chance of beating that giant elk, and we could have very easily beaten it.
Mm.
Maybe not very easily, but we definitely could have beaten it.
Yeah, we probably could.
But I like, just from you describing it, I was like, oh, that thing's gonna fuck us up if we try to mess with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hire a mercenary says, "I need an enemy that trolls Zack named Sans."
Okay. I already fought Sans enough. I think those days are over, man. From Undertale.
I don't know. Yeah. No, I know. Sans is the. You know what? I'll keep that in mind when we do our reboot, because
Oh
we're going to be
my God.
rebooting the series.
Sans is untouchable.
And but I might make the Gremlin. I might rename the Gremlin and make him Sans.
Sans the gremlin.
Oh, okay. It's an homage
That
back
could be
to my
fun.
worst days.
All right, so I might do that. Just bear in mind. All right, so where are we at? So yeah, you came into this town hunting a white stag, and you ended up getting you ended up meeting a few notable characters. Tell us about these notable characters. First of all, the Grinders.
I like the Grinders. There's Donovan and
Grinder.
Grinder, the Grinders. Yeah, that's right. His name was Grinder. They were a group of bandits, and they were there by the
There's a lot
30
of
of
them,
them plus. Yeah, they were trying to win the
Yeah.
competition by numbers. And one of our first introductions is they lost the barrel, and it almost hit the
Smashed
mayor's
into
wife, mayor's daughter. Sorry,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I was there for that.
We saved the kids.
we saved the
and
kids.
the mayor was grateful because we
Mhm.
saved their kids.
Should have let that kid die.
He was very grateful.
Stupid mayor.
He got what was coming to him.
They all got what was coming to them.
Oh yeah, that's right. They're all. Oh god, I'm already forgetting like that. They're all super
Whatever.
evil.
They took good.
Yeah.
They were really good at tricking you guys into thinking that they were all like peaceful and
Yeah,
sunshines
they
and
did
rainbows.
Great. They have very high charisma stats.
No, we just never questioned them.
Well, I mean, you
No, you
wouldn't
never
think
did.
like an entire friendly town where there's a festival that's been held for like over 100
Yeah,
years
you ever
would
seen
have
Hot Fuzz?
anything.
It's
Huh?
true. Hot
You ever
Fuzz.
seen Hot Fuzz?
No.
It's a good movie.
Oh, you should watch Hot Fuzz.
Oh, you should watch Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz is an awesome movie. But yeah, pretty much I hot fuzzed you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, the
Well, spoilers for that movie.
so then there's so basically you guys then also met the two French hunters, obviously Gabriel and
the
Aaron.
Old man, crazy werewolf
Samuel.
hunter. Samuel.
Samus.
Oh, yeah.
Samus.
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 Samus the old hunter. What did you think about Samus?
He was
He's
crazy.
Yeah, he was crazy.
That was my.
Was he crazy though?
Yes.
Yes, he was still
Yes.
wrong the whole time. Like,
Yeah, he still like was not really close.
We were
even.
talking about Steven Universe earlier, and he reminds me of that character with the blog in Steven Universe
I have no idea.
that like talks
I know,
about all
um,
the crazy shit that's happening, and he's like right adjacent, but he's getting all the details wrong.
I feel like his name is Gerald.
Gerald.
Yeah, I
Gerald.
think it is. No, it's Geraldo.
Geraldo, that's it.
Oh my god. I wish his name was Gerald. That'd be
Yeah.
hilarious. But yeah, he was like, yeah, he really was like
no, it's Geraldo.
Geraldo. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was. I mean, I knew that he was correct, that something weird was going on.
Yeah,
in the
he
city.
was right about all the crazy stuff that was happening and being hidden, but he was completely wrong about why
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
what was causing it.
yeah, he was like totally like blinded by his obsession with like the werewolves.
Like conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. With the whole like where like there's like werewolves everywhere.
Well, he
and
used to
some
be a
weird
great
there.
hunter, and then he like got washed up, and I think he went kind of cray after that.
Well, I mean,
Well, he
we
was
know
taking
why he
that
went
drug-
crazy.
he was
taking
because
that
he was
flower.
taking wolfsbane
That's right.
Yeah, he was
constantly.
just constantly taking wolfsbane, and I remember we figured out like we rolled really well on figuring out that
Well, I
this
had,
stuff
like-
that when you ingest it, it just makes you go like
The
if you're
things
just a
I
normal
was
person, it
really,
makes you
really
go
good
insane.
at was throwing bombs, nature, and alchemy. Like, like that was like I got like plus 13 on my nature and my alchemy checks.
Damn.
It was crazy.
Oh man.
And then who else was there? Was there anyone?
There's the barkeeper that fucking
The three kids.
what's his
from the
name blew up
town.
the three kids.
Oh
bar-
yeah, the three kids. Lavi, Lochran, and
Oh, I don't remember the third one.
I think it was Sebastian, maybe.
Maybe.
Doesn't ring a bell. I don't know.
I've got the book right here.
What happened with the innkeeper? I remember at the very
Darby
end.
shot him with a firework.
They were all secret cults.
That was so.
No,
fun.
I know
In
that,
hi-
but I remember before that he was
at the festival.
he had gone through our bags.
He'd taken Gabriel's bag.
Yeah, he took Gabriel's bag and he was like rummaging through
Yeah.
it for
That might have
stuff.
been an episode I missed.
Yeah, it was right
maybe.
before everything
Yeah,
went
and we
down.
should have clearly we knew that there was something weird about him.
Yeah, we found Aaron's and Gabriel's bags, like of different people. I think. Yeah, because he threw you Aaron's bag after you found out he had Gabriel's bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, he threw both of them to you, I think.
Yeah. And then it was like, what the hell?
Spencer, yeah, there's the third kid.
It was Spencer.
Nice
yeah,
job.
then we
Poor kids.
then
I think they made it out of there. I don't know yet.
Were they cannibals?
No, they were good.
No, they were good. But I think it was Spencer that got shot by Samus.
Oh shit, I
Oh.
didn't remember that.
Yeah, remember? Like he was like, I'm sure it's one of these kids, and the kids were like panicking, and
Oh,
they,
you're right.
they did-
Yeah, in the forest,
I wasn't
he
there.
gunned down one
Yeah.
of those kids.
I was
Yeah.
not there for that.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
my
right.
God.
He felt totally justified in doing
Yeah,
it.
we weren't there for that. We didn't see him do it. We just heard the kids say
Actually,
that it happened.
yeah, I think because he was so crazy, it was very distracting and made me convinced that he was like a monster of some kind.
Yeah, he was doing something. Yeah.
And so I was kind of like that was totally distracting me personally from the whole fact that this was like a cannibal village.
No, I did
And
not.
was making me think like that he was just crazy and he was the werewolf the whole
that
time.
episode where Michael started talking about like the pig smell and stuff, and then when you walked into the baker shop, that was one of the most dramatic endings to an episode
Oh
because
my
it was
God.
like click, 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 click.
Yeah, I felt so tense when I was like in there and there was the soup and I find the ring in the soup
That was horrible.
and like it's just immediately like oh my god. Oh my god. Because like it just kept like it kept growing out and I like kept realizing more
Yeah.
and more because
But
it
if
was
that's
like
true, then that means this person. Oh, if that,
Yeah.
then this person.
well it was like oh my god, the butcher is like killing people. Oh my god, I bet other people know about this. Oh my god, the whole town is cannibals.
Yeah, because I remember I missed an episode, and then I came back, and they were like, "By the way, Darby, everyone's trying to eat us." I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
you
okay."
missed the big reveal.
Yeah. That was
Oh,
a
man,
really
no.
dramatic
I think-
thing, though, yeah.
I think the best one at the was like despite that happening to the player was actually Geralt's reaction to it was so visceral because he basically went, huh, somebody dropped a ring in this soup.
Oh, yeah.
This is very inhygienic.
Yeah, because you can't
As
see.
it was attached to a finger.
You can't.
Because it was
see
attached to a
See
finger.
the
You
bodies,
can't.
yeah.
That's one hell of.
That
You
was-
feel like you're cursed. You're not like it's a mental disorder. You're like cursed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he had tons of mental disorders. It was hilarious. I think by the end of it, we had like 6.
That one was
Yeah, I
the
had
biggest.
6.
The
the
corpse one.
hardest.
I love the corpse one. I honestly think that's going to be one of the legacy things that I want to keep is like Geralt's inability to perceive dead bodies.
God. It's so hard to keep up though, and it's kind of
You're not
frustrating.
gonna
Yeah.
be Geralt
It's a good
anymore.
thing you're not Geralt.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna be. I was thinking I was gonna change characters from Geralt. But we
Yeah, okay,
bring
well,
Geralt, we can bring Geralt into it though as like a guest character. I'd be down for that.
Yeah, you know, you go up there and you see this mad drunk that's sitting there drinking with this corpse. It's like a head.
Chilling
It's like
with the corpse.
it's like a headless.
Like in the middle of a town,
Yeah.
where like literally
It's a
everyone
headless-
died except for him, and he's just like
It's like a
this all
headless
seems
priest.
normal. To me.
That's
He's in a town that's been massacred.
that's amazing. Thinking
Yeah.
about Geralt shitting in a massacre town but not realizing it.
Oh god, that'd be so. Just can you,
You
imagine
get there.
that?
He's
in
been
real
living there.
life?
He's been living there for 10 years. He has a wife.
Oh, gross.
Like how?
Like,
Oh, it's just like parts of her body that have fallen off, and he's like, "Look, honey, you gave birth to a baby."
oh
And
no.
it's just like her small intestine or something. Oh god, that would
Just
be
put a
so
bib on it.
You put a bib on it.
All right. So obviously there was the big reveal. The town, of course, was completely and utterly mad. But that wasn't the only big reveal that happened at that point. The town had been worshiping a demon spirit of cannibalism for generations. But what they didn't realize was that this spirit was actually a Wendigo.
And, it was making
And
them
that thing
all
is
crazy.
horrifyingly powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, what were you guys thinking when you saw the Wendigo, when you met it for the first time?
I was very curious how we were gonna live through this because that thing was way too strong. Nothing we did even touched it, and we had to fight that thing. You know. So I was
It sort of showed up and crushed a couple of the cultists straight up,
It
though.
literally ate the dude who was about to kill me in half. Like,
Yeah, it
Yeah.
kind of seemed like it wasn't interested in us.
yeah, that's fair. It was looking
Yeah.
for something. It was looking for the.
Well, okay, so this is one thing that's interesting though, is that when we were out in the snow, it saved us.
Yeah, I don't know about the. I don't know how that happens.
All right, so another bit of a reveal here for this part of the story. So here's the part of the adventure that that you guys weren't really aware of. So, let's start with the fact that Wendigos actually like to torture their prey. They like to give them nightmares and basically forebode their arrival. Bad weather, storms, and things like that.
Fear makes the meat tender.
Kind of, yeah. Now, what happened with this Wendigo? This Wendigo has actually been around since the earlier generation. Oh man, you know what? Let me just read the backstory. By the way, if you actually explored the basement of the church, you would have found the old town records with this story in it.
Oh, interesting.
And you kind of missed it, so I was kind of like, I didn't really get to talk about it. But there's like the true history of the town.
Yeah, we never went into basements. What is our deal with basements?
We just don't like dark, deep places.
We were just
okay?
like, we
Yeah.
need to get the fuck out of wherever we were at because we felt like we were
That's
gonna
true.
We were always running away from where we were.
That's
We're
pretty much
always
it.
like-
All right.
Hey, you guys want to go into this basement? No. I have
Okay.
zero interest in going into a basement with zombies literally everywhere.
All right, Michael.
Okay. All right. So
This man's
Undorno.
like, dungeons? Not really.
No.
All right, so after the Great War on the Undead, the people of Undorno were actually soldiers working for the crown that were given a plot of land to cultivate. When they arrived, however, the Kellid tribes that were there proved to be a lot more resistant to the incursion of their new neighbors. And there was lots of violence, lots of death. Eventually, the Kellids were defeated, and they were members of the Vulture clan. The Vulture clan's patron deity was, in fact, a Wendigo. And they cursed the soldiers and said, you will die, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. As the last of them died, the soldiers tried to build their town, but then a terrible storm basically saw that their food and supplies were dwindling, and they were forced to turn to cannibalism. When this happened, they managed to survive breed and procreate, but they kept the rituals of cannibalism, believing that it kept the spirit of the vulture at bay. What they didn't realize is that the eldest of them, like the actual commander of the soldiers, had turned into a Wendigo.
Oh shit.
And that's who the Wendigo was.
Oh, I forgot. Wendigos are literally born from cannibalism.
Mm-hmm.
I just started watching Supernatural. I know I'm like way behind, but the Wendigo was born through cannibalism.
Yeah.
Now, he had remained dormant for ages, still racked with guilt for what he had done, despite his evil nature. I mean, he still killed people on the road that wandered too close to his lair and things like that. But he had one thing that he cared for more than anything in this world, and that was a very large megaloceros.
Oh no.
So when the megaloceros was killed, the Wendigo began chasing people, and that is why you heard that howl on that first night that sort of echoed through the entire cavern. That was it finding the blood trail of the elk and starting in after you.
Yeah, we tried to befriend it, and Princess Leia straight up just murdered it.
She did.
We got close to
so-
befriending it.
Yeah.
So when you actually went and explored, the Wendigo found you wandering in the woods, and it wanted whoever had killed the elk to know that it was coming. So it let you see it. It grabbed you, it frightened you, it knocked you out, and gave you the nightmares. And then you woke up in town.
Yep.
That is why when it first arrived, it basically started sniffing around. It was smelling the people who actually had turned the elks, the megaloceroses, into cloaks, which was the cloaks they were wearing. And that's why they were the target first. And then that's why Princess Slayer also got targeted.
Makes
Man,
sense.
that's
She did-
crazy.
She did manage to escape, though, and whether or not she'll escape the Wendigo entirely is a whole different story. But sadly, Bjorn did not didn't make it. Gave his life protecting Princess Slayer and the people that she was evacuating, which is very sad.
Yeah, that's right.
I like that the human's name is Princess Leia, and the wolf's name is Bjorn.
I like. This brings up another point that I think is a little funnier, is that Zach was not there. You were not there for part of this.
Which one? Which one?
For when the orphanage was on fire.
Oh, and I just let it burn. Like
Yeah,
I
and
just
we were
chose
like-
to walk away
Yeah,
and
so
let the
we were-
orphanage burn.
we
And
were
you were
like-
like,
That's right.
No, I wasn't. I was like, yeah, fuck
No,
these
you-
cannibal bastards. And then,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, Michael was like, as you walk away, you pull out your sunglasses walking away from the flames, and you put them on, and then you have just one thought, where's Khalil? And we're like, oh shit, Khalil's in the flames!
That is brilliant. I love it.
That was awesome.
No, Unduna had lots of really good moments. Did you guys have any favorite outstanding moments for that one?
I really liked Grinder and Donovan.
Yeah.
And like the begrudging friendship that became our two groups, like starting in such hostility.
Yeah, it was. Like the hostility never really went away, but there was a mutual respect, I think.
Yeah, that hostility morphed into a hostile friendship.
I think Donovan is friends with us now. Okay, we fought together.
I
We
think
trusted
there
him
was
enough to rescue those people.
Grinder died, but Donovan's still kicking.
Did Grinder die?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did die. He died from his wounds, right?
I think
He
he
did.
I thought we.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did. He did.
Because he was attacked by... Was he attacked by the
A
Wendigo?
wolf? No, there's a wolf. There's a crazy wolf monster, right? That they fought.
No. He was attacked by the.
Wendigo.
What was he attacked by? No, he was attacked by the innkeeper.
Oh,
Oh.
we didn't.
He
know
was
that.
attacked by. Yeah, he was attacked by Ivan. So basically, with Grinder, what happened with him is that they did find the wolf that was mentioned.
Mhm.
But the problem was that the wolf wasn't what got Donovan. So Donovan ended up killing those wolves, which is why there was so much blood at the scene. But then he was ambushed by Ivan, who had basically just overpowered him and tore him a new one.
Yeah, because Grinder came back missing an arm, right?
Yeah.
Jesus.
And you kind of saw the bite marks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And another fun fact, if you actually examined Yuri's quarters, like the innkeeper's quarters, you would have found the blood-soaked costume of the Wendigo that he was wearing.
Oh, shit.
He also wore it the same night that Gabriel died as well, and how people were saying that they were seeing like this antlered humanoid thing walking through the streets. Yeah, that was him as well.
He killed Gabriel too.
They killed both of them.
Oh, Aaron died too. That's right. We tried to find Aaron's grave, but it was gone. Where did Aaron's corpse go? We never found out, did we?
You ate it.
I didn't eat his.
We
ate it.
That was.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was the later one.
That's right. We ate Aaron. It's a good thing
So
Cleo
after-
didn't have a big thing for pastries and stuff like that.
It's also true. All right. So after obviously after fine dining in Ondono, you guys made your way to Thrushmore, where you guys learned of the missing children and set about doing this.
The blight.
Now to kind of speed it up because we do have like 10 minutes. The three things we kind of did, if memory serves, was you guys went and you tracked down what appeared to be some sort of theft ring with some goblins and some sort of giant mechanical monstrosity.
That was crazy.
And was there something else? I feel like there was something else.
So yeah, the hunter dude we ran into him and we went to fight that dude. Then we went to the Sleepless Agents place.
They were closed.
No, this is after they were closed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Originally
Oh
we-
no, the Undertaker's thing is the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, we went and found that little shithead undead kid.
Oh yeah, that fucking kid. And he was
All right,
little
all right,
shit,
let's-
and he was like,
All right,
and he was like, "Who are you? Get off my property!" And then we
An
were all
old
like, "Fuck
man.
this kid," and we pushed
Oh,
him back in.
okay. Before we
old
get too
man.
far ahead, before we get too far ahead, let's hear that story. I feel like Geralt's going to tell this story best. So John, take it away.
I don't know who this is.
Oh
I
man.
think you were gone.
Oh yeah, maybe you were gone. Oh god, I fucking hated that kid. So
Is this whenever we... No, this wasn't whenever we had...
This was your quest from the Undertaker.
yeah, so we went and talked to the Undertaker, and he was kind of like, "Oh, there's some suspicious stuff going on at this grave site. You know, the whole family died, and the parents were basically came back as these monsters. So you need to put this stuff on this kid's head, so that he doesn't turn into one of these monsters too. So you have to go dig up his dead body."
Yeah, we have to sneak onto the
Well,
grounds.
actually, you guys didn't know about the monsters at the time.
I thought
Is
he had
that the-
told us that they had.
He just said...
No,
The parents had died in an accident. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
we
parents
need
had
to
died in
anoint
an
them.
accident.
Oh, and we just need to anoint the kid. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So yeah, we didn't know that there were monsters at the time. So
But we knew we had to sneak in.
we had to sneak into
And
their.
we did not.
No, we did not sneak in. But luckily, the only person really guarding it was this
Old man.
old man and his like giant, like his monster dog or something, right? Like his,
No. It was a monster horse and his old lame dog.
Oh, that's what it was—a monster horse and his old lame dog. And we somehow, I can't remember what we did with the horse. We somehow defeated the horse. I think we distracted it or something.
Well, there was definitely
Yeah.
an old man there.
Oh yeah, we like threatened the old man.
We
and
changed
then,
him
and then
colors. We blinded him.
yeah, that's right. We blinded him.
And then, like, we might have gotten him fired.
Yeah,
Because,
we,
like, the guy came out and he's like, "Old man, what are you doing? There's a lot of ruckus."
yeah, and then we had to pretend to be the old man. We're like, I'm just doing old man stuff. It was like,
And
well,
we were
stop it and get back in here. And we were
We
like,
were
God, this
even
guy's
they
life
call
sucks.
him old man.
Yeah. We were like, God, this guy's
love-
life sucks.
I love the fact that they didn't give him a name. It was just old man.
Old man.
I've been
When-
an old
when he
man
was
since
a-
I was born.
Yeah, he was born, and they were like, "You will be known as Old Man." Yeah. So then we did that. We tied him up. He was blinded. I think we never took off the blindness either. So he's like still blind.
Like, somewhere.
He's just somewhere blind because it's permanent.
Then you You then exhumed the corpse, but as you were doing so, you were attacked by these two creatures made of dirt and soil
Yeah.
called.
They dragged us underground.
Yeah, they dragged you and me underground, and like we were like
Found
in
our way
like
out.
graves basically. And then who dug us up?
We dug ourselves up.
No, and Sorora summoned like that. She summoned that wolf, remember? And the wolf like helped.
Yeah,
dig
it was
us
like
up,
an
too.
undead wolf.
Yeah, it was like an undead wolf.
Which ironically was also the same undead wolf that attacked you guys, but
It was like different though. It was smaller somehow.
It looked different, but that
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
can probably shapeshift or whatever.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm gonna say it looked different. I don't remember showing you a picture of it.
Yeah, you did not show us a picture. That's true.
All right. At the
they-
time, I don't think you really cared too much, though.
Yeah, we were buried alive and just trying to survive.
All right, these creatures were called Graveborn, and the thing is you guys actually failed to realize what these things were.
They were his parents.
No, they were his parents, but they're actually creatures that are born from grave dirt that surrounds people that have been buried alive.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, we know that. We knew that the kid wasn't actually dead.
Oh no,
Well,
no, it's not that.
I thought he was undead.
Yeah, but then we realized he had a disease. Like we found out that he had the disease.
Yeah, afterwards.
Correct, because he had been attacked by these two things,
Mm.
right? And they
he
had
would
the
have
disease
eventually
that
turned into one because he was buried alive.
because he was buried alive. Right. But the
Oh.
more important thing here was that the parents turned into them,
Yeah.
which means
Which means they were buried
Buried
alive. Oh. Alright, well, yeah, we missed that. That's kind of an important thing to know,
Yeah, I
I
wonder
guess.
who was in that house.
But it was so funny when the but you're terrible investigators. So it was really funny.
We're just
Alright,
like,
so you
alright,
guys-
we're gonna go put some shit on some kid's head. That's fine. We did it. He was alive, apparently, so we killed him. You're welcome.
No, we just left him in the hole because he was a jerk.
Yeah, he was a shitty little kid, and I think actually
that-
that was a big reason that I did not care at all about investigating that further. Is because the kid was so shitty. I was like,
What-
God,
yeah,
we
so-
should have just left him in there and let
So-
him
no, no, so-
suffocate.
So tell us to describe the scenario. Like when Geralt opened up the coffin, he this little child sits up. What happened?
He literally like his first words are, "Who are you? What are you doing on my land?" We're like, what the fuck? This little shitty kid. We're like, we saved you, and he was like, "Where's
Old man, what are these people
man,
doing?
what are these people doing on my land?" And then we like help him out, and then I'm like, "No, you know what? Forget it." I push him back in, and then he. Ah!
I think we blinded him too.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, that's right. Sorora blinded him too. Oh, that was awesome.
It was this like 10-year-old kid, and
She
then
dropped
and
it
then
once he was crying, I think.
no, didn't you then like after you blinded him, you just sort of smacked the oil onto his face and then just left?
Yeah, we were just like, all right, we did it. Let's go.
And then it was fish oil.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Oh yeah, and it was fish
Yeah.
oil.
This fish oil, yeah, that was really funny. The Undertaker thought it was hilarious because but yeah, I think that was probably one of my highlight moments. Is I loved that scenario and how it played out.
I just loved the
Hated
fact
it.
that Sorora just kept blinding people. I thought that was hilarious.
All right. So the next little trek there you had was to the was with the goblins who
Yeah.
were stealing stuff.
Oh yeah, they stole.
Now
my stuff.
there's actually a huge thing here, and because there is such a huge thing, and we're running short on time, I'm just gonna fill you in on what sort of happened. So there was this alchemical golem that came from another realm, using literally a Stargate
Damn.
that ended up on this planet, on this in this world in Galarian. It didn't come from Galarian.
Alien.
You remember the cave that he was in? It was covered in metal and like junk and stuff
Yeah.
like that had been collected. That was all stuff that had come from his realm, and he was attuned to its frequency. Do you remember every time you walked into the area, you felt like kind of sickened and nauseated?
Yeah.
He felt that everywhere that wasn't here, because coming from a different plane, the resonance being what it is, caused great discomfort. So he was trying to build a gateway back home.
Oh.
And you guys just
And that's
fucking
what-
killed him?
Yep.
Because he was killing those goblin people. He was being a jerkhead.
No, he had my stuff.
He also
Oh,
Well,
that's fair.
Well, here's the other catch with that. But here's the other catch with that. When you entered, you were ringing. You were making that loud,
Yeah.
resonating noise, and so were the goblins. So whenever the goblins were coming up to him, it'd basically be so loud and so disorienting. He would do anything to stop it.
oh shit.
But
Yeah, you guys
that's
are
kind of how.
assholes. It's like this thing is like suffering, and you're like, "Fuck that thing."
It hurt. We almost died there. Like
We did.
we legit almost
Yeah,
died
it
to
was
this
a
fight.
tough fight. It was
Yeah.
a tough fight.
The only
They
reason
did.
we killed it is because we stood next to it. That's how we killed it, is by standing next to it.
Because you were feeling what it was feeling, so
Yeah.
you were actually dealing damage to it as well from being next to it.
We got very lucky.
Yeah, I think all of us touched it. We had a special guest then too, right?
Yeah,
It
that was
the
special guest.
the guy who came back.
Yeah, he played the paladin before,
he
and
played
this
the
time he
paladin
played a
before. Yeah.
druid.
Oh, cool. Was he the paladin again or no?
No, he was a
different
druid.
guy.
Oh, he was a druid.
Yeah, of some
Yeah,
sorts.
I think that was Josh, maybe.
Yes, it was Josh.
Josh.
Yeah.
He was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was really cool, and you guys managed to defeat the golem there and save the goblins, which was really cool. The goblins were very grateful.
Except we killed their leader on the way out. Or I
Yeah,
should
that
say, someone killed their leader on the way out.
Yeah, someone who
they
remained
stole
nameless.
your crap, right?
Yeah.
You guys are like the worst.
Yeah.
Kill this innocent dude and then kill the people who you were helping because they stole my shit. Which then brought us to your encounter with the Helsing again, with Arthur giving you a recommendation to the Sleepless Agency, and then sending you on the journey to go and deal with the missing children. Now tell us about that, Zach. How did the quest for the missing children go, leading us into our finale?
Yeah, we can get through all this pretty quick. So we went to the Sleepless Agency. We ran into a lady who was very mean to us. She told us that she had sent an agent called Leopold.
Leopold, yeah.
Leopold. No, it was Leonard.
Was it Leonard? Was the one
Was
we fought?
that?
Leonard
I thought it
Church
was
was the
Leopold.
monster, the knight dude we fought earlier. I think it's Leopold.
I think it was Leopold, actually.
Oh yeah, it was Leopold. Leopold. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right, you're right.
Leopold, and so she sent us on like a little mini mission to go find what had happened to him and report back. That was what she sent us on for the Sleepless Agency.
Yeah.
So we started going to find him. I think for some reason, we learned that he was looking for a specific little girl, right, when he got captured.
Yeah. He was keeping tabs on the town, and then he was tracking a specific little girl named
Yes.
Joliet.
Juliet, that's right, who had gotten captured. We followed that trail to the lake. And at the lake, on the way there we ran into the little thing that
Tooth fairies.
Sorora had.
What little thing?
Oh, the Leshy.
The Lecce, yeah.
Oh, the Leshy, yeah.
The Lecce helped us a little bit.
Yeah, the Leshy helped us find the lake.
Lecce
You
helped us
got
find the lake.
captured.
I got captured.
I got captured.
Jarva got
separately.
captured.
Yeah.
By so we
Well,
went.
hold on. Before that, we
Something
had an
happened before.
encounter with the tooth fairies.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
You found Leopold's camp, and you were attacked by the Tooth Fairies, and Khalil lost an incisor.
Oh yeah, they ripped
Yeah,
one
they
of your
ripped
teeth
some of my
out.
teeth out.
They paralyzed you and ripped out one of your teeth.
Those tooth.
With a pair of pliers, no less.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was awful. I never got that tooth back.
It's like my worst nightmare right there.
I failed a will save, and a very nice lady pulled me into the water and stole me as these two were fighting the tooth fairies.
No, it was after we fought the tooth fairies.
It was during, I'm pretty sure. I
No,
left
it was
you
during.
right at. Was it during?
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause I had to leave
remember
during
whenever
that fight.
Whenever we caught up after I got captured by the same person in a different location,
It was-
he was like, I was in the middle of fighting with them.
Oh, okay.
I had to leave early that day, so I kind of,
Yeah, got kidnapped.
yeah.
But then Geralt and Sorora went and did something else. So what did you guys get up to?
Well, we started like going. We asked the Leshy to kind kind of show us the way. And we were kind of going into this like really bad part of the forest, and Sorora noticed that the Leshy was getting kind of scared, so she said, "Do you want us, can you find your way back?" And the Leshy was like, "Yeah, I can find my way back." And so Sorora put the Leshy inside of this tree knot, and the Leshy just kind of smiled, and then it went boom.
Oh no!
And the tree chomped down on the Leshy, and we were like, "Oh my god!" And we had to do a sanity check for that.
Wow.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, so then we ended up fighting this giant vine tree monster.
Damn.
Sorora got swallowed by it. And she found the Leshy. Leshy was fine. And she started like hacking her way out of it. She was like cutting in through it and stuff like that. And meanwhile, on the outside, I was randomly pulling stuff out of the swamp that was in there. So, Michael, do you remember everything that I pulled out? I remember I pulled out an eel, and I did like tons of damage with the eel.
Yeah, you got the eel, you got a stick, a rock,
and the crocodile tail.
And the crocodile tail. That's right. You started hitting him with the end of a crocodile.
Yeah, and I killed it with the crocodile tail.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, my favorite was the eel though, because in order to get my
chair breaker?
my +4, my chair breaker, I have to destroy it.
Yeah. So you splattered the eel.
That's what I just imagined. I use it like a whip, and it just cracks. It's like whoosh, and its head just just explodes all over.
Oh lordy.
And while this was going on, Darby and Khalil were on their own adventure.
We'd gotten
my friend Austin playing Argast.
Argast, yep, that was his name.
Who was either a druid pretending to be a cleric or a cleric.
He was a cleric pretending to be a druid, yeah.
He had some identity issues.
He was like a doctor who, he was like from that wild story, Into the Wilds. He was like the doctor who wanted to be a wild man, kind of thing. But we got kidnapped by the girl, and she asked us to help us end the blight that's happening to her forest, basically.
Yeah, he was living with a
nymph.
So
yeah.
I'm just like, way to go, man.
He done pretty well for himself.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah.
It's pretty good, our guest.
He met a grisly fate.
Yeah,
he was murdered by a tree.
On our way there, we fought a boar that had blights, and we killed it. And then later, deeper into the forest, we ran into this blight monster thing. Yeah, this.
Actually, it had more of that green rabies that you saw in that first game.
Oh,
remember the one
like a witch curse.
The one that. No, do you remember the one that Geralt was dealing with? With what was his name? Darak?
Oh, you're
Dakash.
Dakash.
Yeah.
Dakash, yeah. Dakash was dealing with it.
Oh, shit.
All I know is that wherever Darby is in this new world, he has a vial of that blight that he managed to extract.
Yeah, we killed a giant sloth, blight monster that made me and Darby cursed or give us a disease of some sort. After we beat that, we went deeper into the woods to find the trees with the kids attached. Since then, the kids were actually absorbed into these trees.
Yeah,
which is disturbing.
Which is horrifying.
Yeah. And then we found them as well, and we found you guys.
And that's whenever Argast got killed, because he's like, "Oh look, it's got this little pendant, of one of the kids," and he went to pick it up to see if he could identify what it was. And as soon as he touched the pendant and took it off, the tree just smashed
on
him
him.
to the ground.
Yeah,
and killed him.
Killed instantly.
Oh.
He took 48 damage, just
Yeah, I'm very glad I didn't touch that pendant. We found Leopold. I found his little crow thing, and I sent a message to the Sleepus agency that we'd found Leopold.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we met up with you two.
Which led us to the final battle, or the final confrontation with a nightmare druid dryad thing.
Yeah, which we took care of pretty easily, actually.
We destroyed that thing.
Yeah, it was attached to a tree, and we were like, "Oh, we just attacked the tree."
Yeah, that wasn't the real
No.
ending.
No, that was the pseudo ending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys kind of picked up on the tree thing very quickly, which was good. If you hadn't, that would have gotten very south very quickly.
Yeah.
Darby
Because, yeah, I
literally
mean-
rained bombs from the sky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did. I feel like you guys did. I feel like you guys did okay with that fight. I think part of it was that it was rushed a little bit because, I think at that point I'd learned that that Madison can't be here for today's
Yeah.
thing.
And
So
we're gonna
I ended
drag
up-
it out. What? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to drag it out and have a finale without her character. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
Really
so we went in.
couldn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way.
She was so important.
Very important.
Of course,
I mean, you could
and
have,
so I.
but-
Yeah.
You could have, but you would have missed out on such a really awesome finale. I
Yeah.
think. So then came the bit where you returned triumphant with most of the children in tow, as well as the captured sleepless detective, only to find yourselves victimized and captured by none other than Dr. D.
Who was Leopold? Leopold, the guy who had gone to investigate, was Dr. D.
Oh, he did
Because
put us to sleep when we talked to him. That's right.
Yeah,
He did.
he basically
He did.
we basically like got him out of the tree, and he was like, "Well, that was fucking dumb." Boop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the connection between him and Doctor, if he was Doctor Shifting or not, but
No, I mean,
Oh, man,
he probably
like,
just
there's-
takes off his mask.
Yeah. We don't know what his.
it's
mask
true.
is,
He's
but
done this to us
yeah.
before with our other characters that he killed.
Yeah, he did the exact same
Pickles!
thing. We
Pickles!
Pickles!
There's definitely a reason for it, and his involvement with both the green rabies, the undead, the
Yeah.
necromancers. There's a whole, like I said, there's a whole plot here, and the thing is like while you guys are investigating your smaller bits of the story, there is a larger story giving you clues
Yeah.
as time goes on. So yeah, Dr. D is definitely very involved, and I'm not going to shed light on that and how he and Leopold are one and the same. But you found yourselves inside of a death gauntlet, very reminiscent of the Saw death traps, because
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, that's who I based it off. I based the whole idea of Dr. D off the idea of Jigsaw.
Nice.
Although Dr. D is a actual character NPC created in one of the Pathfinder books, but they don't go into him too much.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just took my own spin on it and ran with him as a character. So he wanted you guys to see as he saw, and gave you the opportunity to dig around a person's guts, to choose between two people to sacrifice, and eventually lead you into your final confrontation. Now, how did you guys feel about these? How did you guys feel about these challenges?
Horrifying.
Yeah.
For Khalil, dude, this whole thing was fucked up for Khalil.
Yeah, it was like I felt like super traumatized by
Yeah.
that.
So
whole
you're saying we
experience.
didn't have to kill both of them? That wasn't the answer.
Well, they were both gonna die regardless. Like we like.
Yeah, the fact that they were missing their organs meant they would
were
die
already
at some
dead.
point, right?
Yeah. They were gonna die. Is what I think the
They had
Did
conclusion.
we
mind-
make a false assumption?
No, they
about
had
that?
mind worms.
Or do you not want to answer that?
No, you know what? I think you guys have earned it. Yes, there is some sort of parasitic organism that has somewhat infiltrated regular people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it comes out
All the
until they
peop-
die.
Yeah.
All the people, no, all the people you killed that are missing organs because the parasite doesn't need those organs.
Oh. So it just eats them or
So-
gets rid of them or what?
Eats them for
Okay.
nourishment.
Nice.
So each of the people you were dealing with, I mean, you guys were convinced they were innocent people, right?
No.
I mean,
mean-
like the mother, for example, or that you didn't feel like there was some sort of alien.
No,
species.
no, I didn't think that they were.
No,
they
I
were-
think we did
this-
figure out that they were aliens.
Yeah, we did.
Because we were like looking at her
Mostly-
costume, and we were like, she
Something's off.
Well, we knew that something was up because remember, you guys like felt their stomachs
Yeah,
somehow.
mage hand. Or
Yeah,
spectral
yeah, we
hand.
knew that,
Spectral-
but
yeah,
we didn't.
so
We
we're
didn't.
using spectral hand.
We didn't
and
know they
so
were
we
bad
like,
people.
Yeah, we felt their organs, and we knew Yeah, that's true. We assumed, like, we knew that they were like these, they were infested by these creatures, but we didn't know.
We didn't know the
Anything
intricacies of what that meant, but we knew that they were compromised.
Yeah, we knew
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And we
then-
also
and-
kind of assumed that they were already like essentially just a walking corpse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then came Arthur,
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was messed up.
And we
where
investigated him and the girl that he was protecting. The girl had the same condition,
Yeah.
And he was protecting her.
and he was protecting her. He didn't like that we wanted to cut her in half
To show him.
to show him.
Ike succeeded
he
at
was
one point, but then
way more
Khalil
powerful.
saved her.
What do you mean I saved her? How did I save her? What do you mean?
Or was it Khalil or Geralt? Who saved her?
Arthur put her out.
Yeah, Arthur put her out.
I wasn't gonna put her out. I was gonna let her die. She was a monster.
Oh, someone in the audience decided. You were like, does he go for vengeance and attack Darby?
Oh yeah.
Or,
yeah.
Oh,
or
that's
does
right,
he,
that's right.
does
Or
he
does he
save
save
the
her?
girl? And someone in the audience
That's
put
right,
save
yeah.
the girl. And I was just like, damn it. He should. I wish he
Yep.
had just attacked Darby.
You would have died.
Whatever.
You probably would have died,
we would
but
have
he
shown.
would have known.
He would have known.
Yeah, it's true. In the end,
and he would have felt terrible.
yeah.
No, that's very true. But yes, no, the child was in fact a creature as well, and that kind of bodes very poorly for a whole bunch of things. Because now, throwing your mind back a little bit, do you recall that Dr. D went and kidnapped someone from Castle Corvishaw?
Oh,
I mean, I know he captured the dude.
yeah.
Who?
He captured the
Sturgeon.
Sturgeon, yeah.
I was gonna say Kestrel, and then I was like, no.
Yeah,
that's
he
not
captured
right.
the sturgeon.
What about the sturgeon?
So the sturgeon was
Wha-
infested. Was infected, I should say.
Yeah.
What, are you
And what does
getting
that
at?
have to do?
He was trying to spread the mind worms.
Yeah, maybe.
But what are you getting at, Michael?
Oh no, I'm getting at a whole bunch of different things to set up for the new show that'll come up.
Ah,
So there's that involved, and of course the last big reveal was, of course, that Sorora was not only Khalil's sibling but Dr. D's daughter.
Yep, and
Yep.
super evil,
Yep.
and she immediately just tried to kill us.
Well,
Yeah.
to be fair, she didn't tell us. Like, we realized she was evil whenever we were like, wait a second. Did you just summon a lich?
Yeah, that's kind of when we realized, yeah, she's probably like way more evil than we
Yeah,
thought.
we're kind of downplaying how intense this like fight with Arthur was. Like Arthur destroyed
Yeah,
pillars
yeah.
and reflected a lich's blast for like
Oh
100
my
damage.
God, it was like 380 damage or
Yeah.
something like that, and he just like reflected it. That was
Well,
So
the-
I
the-
would
the
like
correct-
to point out, against a level 19 character, Darby, not able to fight him, we successfully like hit
Held
that
him
girl
off.
that he was protecting and held him off.
That's true.
Granted, he wasn't
That's-
wearing his armor.
This is very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't wearing his armor. He was still like way stronger than us. He swung his sword and against the pillar, and he did what like he did an ungodly amount of
Yeah.
damage
Yeah,
with
it was
one
a lot. It
hit.
was
Did
a
like
bit-
40 something damage.
Yeah, it was
He
like
took out the pillar,
46
but then
damage
I
or
just
something.
acrobated my way over to the chandelier, and he's
Yeah.
just like, "Urgh."
But I was just thinking about that. I was like, yeah, that would immediately knock me out.
That'd almost instant kill
He'd
you.
almost instant kill.
It wouldn't instant kill me, but
No,
yeah, I would be in bad
almost.
Yeah,
shape.
it would have knocked me out for sure. Not close to being instant kill, but it would have knocked me out.
Yeah.
Actually, as honestly, I think I was only at like 15 hit points, and I have like
We all were-
32.
We're all messed up.
So I would have been like 2 hit points away from dying, or 1 hit point away from dying if he had hit me with that.
All right, guys. So we've kind of come to that time where we're now going to wrap up. On the last little note for the wrap, I'm going to say if there is one thing you guys could do again, so one thing you could have changed, done something different in the whole journey of your characters up to this point, what would it have been? Let's start with Khalil.
Live more to his
Oh,
curious.
sorry, let me rephrase. If there was one thing you could have done differently, like one thing you could have changed.
I wish I would have stuck more to Khalil being more of an investigator kind of type, because I mean he is a sweeper, you know.
Yeah,
And
like
he's-
actually investigating.
He's a
stuff.
curious guy, you know. That's the reason he reads so many books and stuff. Should have been better at investigating as the character.
Yeah,
right.
definitely. Pulling.
Yeah, definitely Khalil should have been better.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Just to like, what I would change is like all those missing threads that we didn't pull on,
Mm.
Yeah.
like the guide's underground lair, going into the attic and find like the basement and finding out the Wendigo stories and all that stuff.
I mean, that's kind of the way I wrote this game. The game is very sandboxy for an adventure path, and there are just a million different threads. And the more you investigate, the more you uncover, and that's kind of the nature of it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that you can't just power through the game and just do the stuff, because it also means that you are surprised by things as they come up. I mean, whether or not the revelation for, say, the cannibals happens when you guys are captured, or it happens in that attic. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I just mean in the vein that we were supposed to be like investigators this whole time. We weren't very investigative.
No.
no.
Yeah, we did not
What about,
investigate well. Actually, I feel like we did a pretty decent job when we did the one shot.
Oh.
When we did
Oh, the
like,
noir
But
one?
we were playing different
Noir.
characters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
we
were
were
playing
playing
different
like
characters.
hardcore, like, hey, we're detectives, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like we did a really good job that time.
And lo and behold, look how much we found out in that session.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, maybe we should bring back those noir characters when we do the reboot. So, you know, just saying.
I loved those characters.
loved
I thought they
Cyrus.
were great. Yeah.
Cyrus Flanagan
Yeah.
with his best friend and faithful steed, Sergeant Pibbles.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. That was fun. Yeah.
Sergeant
That was
Pibbles.
so awesome.
Oh, and Geralt, what would the one thing you would have done differently is?
Put literally just 2 points into any mental stat. That's all I would have done.
That's it.
I would nuke
Just
my two other intelligence,
Let's
my
just-
two other mental stats,
let's
and
just-
just put a few more points and then just boost my other stats like crazy.
Into
That's all I would
something.
do.
Oh man, no, that's hilarious. That's funny. Actually, I will also ask one more thing. How did you guys find your horses?
Oh god, I loved.
Oh yeah,
I
the
loved
horses
it.
were awesome.
I was actually going to ask that earlier. What happened to them? Because they're awesome characters. The horses were all. I mean, I think all the other horses except for mine had a lot of backstory, but mine was just.
And then you guys.
Yours was young
We
and
all
impressionable.
had the same backstory. We got all of our horses from
No,
the same
I mean not the
place.
backstory. I mean they had more like development, especially Thunder.
Thunder had probably the most development.
There was
Yeah.
actually, you guys actually, or did all of us? Did I have to fight Thunder too?
We
or
all
was it
did. I
you
almost
guys?
died.
No,
He-
yeah, you almost died.
I think it was
Kicks me
only
to
you
death.
guys, though. I think I wasn't there that day, and you
Oh.
guys fought Thunder. And then I came and I was like, Thunder?
Yeah, that's right. You showed up at the end of Fight Thunder.
Yeah.
Like that's how the next episode started or something. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it was like totally okay, because I think.
I'll miss
I don't remember what
horse.
happened. Horse. I forgot
And
the
horse.
His name was Horse.
And then there was Princess, and like I said, I mean, Khalil's one was more like a young, impressionable one. I didn't really get much of an opportunity to have it run off into danger because you kind of put it out of danger for a lot of it.
Yeah, I did leave.
Uh,
a lot.
But yeah, I had like plans of it. You sort of finding it randomly, like it's in like one of the shops in Carrion Hill, and it's just in the window, and you can kind of see it, and it's just there, and it sort of looks at you like, "Help me."
And you're like, what the heck? What? How? How? The doors
Yeah,
are closed.
yeah.
How?
Accidentally wanders into different businesses.
Yeah, that's it. It's supposed to be that weird horse. All right, well, that sadly wraps us up for the wrap party. Thank you so much to our audience members who have watched this, either the ones who have joined us live or the ones who watch this later on down the track. Look, the one grand sweeping statement is from all of us, including, of course, Kendra and Madison, who can't be here. We had an awesome time with this game. It was a lot of fun. We loved having bringing the story to life with you guys and these particular characters. This, however, is the end of Tales from the Undertaker on Twitch. However, we are bringing Tales from the Undertaker back as a rebooted series, starting from the very start with both John and Zach, as well as Bon and a yet unnamed fourth player. possibly a fifth. We'll see how it goes. On my Ask a Pathfinder YouTube channel, which will cover the full story and the full scope, with, of course, some legacy bits and pieces that are taken
Quill's
from
gonna come
this
back
game.
as a level 18 character. It's gonna be badass.
Yeah.
That's your legacy.
Level 18
Yeah.
Slave to your system.
I know, we didn't even talk about that. That's really
Oh,
cool.
yeah, that's right.
The funny thing is I just imagine it's like all I have to do is roll a 2 and I can hit anything.
You know what?
Natural 1.
Out of the 2 backstories that we discussed that the characters could have, I'd rather have yours than his.
Yeah, my backstory is.
If you go with the city, like where you're in like a city where everyone's dead and you're just like living as though they're not, that's pretty horrifying.
Yeah, he probably. Well, no one's. The people aren't dead in that city. Like everyone survived in the city because, as the previous characters, we actually saved the day. So they're
Stay
not
tuned
dead.
for that,
No,
guys.
a
Maybe all these
different
legacy
city.
characters.
So there you go.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe you will. So if you
came across a city.
Yeah.
So if you guys haven't checked this out, go and watch the rest of the shows in the video chat. You can go look at them up on YouTube as well under the Color Circle one. And from us here at at Color Circuit / Ask a Pathfinder, we're going to wish you a very, very happy night. We have lots of stuff and lots of shows coming up for Color Circuit, which Zach is going to tell us about for the last time. So Zach,
I thought it was.
What day is it?
Last week was the last time I was going to do this.
well, this is the last time.
guys,
But just tell us what.
guys,
What day is it?
what day?
I don't
is
know
it,
what
guys?
day it is.
Today is Tuesday,
Yay.
which means
my
tomorrow is
God.
Wednesday.
Oh, that's true. That's a factual
That
statement.
is a factual
cannot
statement that
be
you guys
argued.
It
can't
is not a
refute.
factual statement. It is an
Factual
incorrect statement.
statement.
It is a
That
fallacy.
It is Tuesday, September 4th. Bam!
Bam!
Yep.
It
That's
is.
true.
It is Wednesday, September 5th.
It
You
is
gotta learn your math. You gotta learn your math there, Michael.
Tuesday, which means tomorrow is Improv Day at Color Circuit, guys. Starting at 7 p.m., we have our short form comedy show called Improv Donuts, which is followed by Improv Bagel, which is our long form comedy podcast, which you guys should be excited to watch, thrilled to be watched, and enlightened to be watched.
Enlightened.
The improv stuff is actually a lot of fun. And again, if you are trying to become a great GM, then checking out some improv tips and tricks is always a fantastic idea. If you guys, yes, I know that. Sorry, this is from Hire a Mercenary. Yes, I am very aware that the majority of you are in Mountain Time, but you know what? I'm in Australia, and so yeah, sometimes we matter. Hashtag Australia Lives
Sometimes
Matter.
we matter.
Hashtag Australia.
Okay, so as for me, my name is Michael. I run Ask a Pathfinder. It is a free coaching and advice service for any kind of RPG. I specialize in Pathfinder. I had a very interesting conversation with someone the other day about this. A lot of people have said, "Oh, well, you know, you really favor Pathfinder," and I'm like, "Well, I'm not called Ask a Generic Role Player." So if you if you do have any questions, though, come check me out on Facebook at facebook.com/AskAPathfinder, or come chat with me directly on Discord at discord.me/AskAPathfinder. You can also find me on YouTube. You can find me floating around the place. I do a whole bunch of different things. And of course, guys, from us here for the final time, make sure that you and yours keep your dice rolling and make sure your ideas stay mind worm free. Have a good one.
Finger gun.
Except I have to end the
And he has to run, so you know, I mean. So let's do a farewell dance. Everyone dance.